Fantastic. Thanks for asking. Hey, Emmy, how are you? I brought a coffee mug in for you, a different one than I used the other day. Give me 1 second and I'm going to show you. Hi, Bash, how are you? Oh, you're coming to Florida? Well, girl, listen, I don't live that far from that miserable bitch. So, if you want to come and, you can shack up in my guest room. Bash, if I'm correct, I believe you're allowed to have, I think there's a certain number of, if you want to be, much like the ass clown that inspired the law, I do believe that you can have either under 5 or under 3 people. And, maybe make that bitch on the receiving end of what she's doled out to so many. And Bash, I haven't seen it. I got it. I've queued it up right to the point where she begins to talk about what her audience may or may not like. I mean, let's face it. I think a large part of her audience, I do believe I've said, has the intellect of your average houseplant. So, but stand by for that. My goodness, what are we going to call this? Well, it's Monday, and Macabre Monday. We'll call this Macabre Monday with the tragedy pimping Gore grifters. Okay, hey, Flo, how are you? I'm looking at the chat, you guys. Oh, Flo, well, yes, we're gonna get into all of it. Good morning, London girl. How are you? Lurker. Oh, I'm glad. Lurker's comment says, hello, everyone. I just watched 2 beautiful tributes for Gannon. It was wonderful. I'm glad. And I would like to believe that more of us in this community, that more of us are good rather than bad. But, depends on what day of the week you ask me. Hey, Outlaw Trucker, how are you? What is wrong with this damn mouse? Hi, Pee Gate. How are you? Hi, Revival. Good morning. Y'all, my mouse it's one of those wireless ones, but I charged it the other day. I don't know why it gives me so much trouble sometimes. It doesn't go where I want it to go, and it doesn't get there fast enough. Do you like this one, Emmy? Okay. There's also another interesting timestamp I was looking for from Queen Bees yesterday, and I found it right before I walked in here, and we're going to talk about that too. You know, I really truly am at the point where, like, I'm at a loss. I don't like. This is so behavior like this and this kind of cruelty, and make no mistake, that bitch is seated at the right hand of Satan, right along with Betty, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, they're on the underworld dais. You know, I'm sure Betty's going to fight her for the center podium because, you know, Betty loves a lectern. Betty's never met a lectern or a lanyard that she didn't want to terrorize. And Betty, lanyards, girl, listen, I know you're like trying to be me, which that is like everything else you do, that's a losing endeavor. But a lanyard is never an accessory. I mean, well, I think she might have, well, more on that in a moment. I stepped away. I listened to Queen Bees yesterday. Thank God that I had guests yesterday. I have family here from out of town. Oh yes, I'll be going to, you know, enjoy some civilized pursuits tomorrow. Betty, I told you, girl, I'll be at the Ritz-Carlton tomorrow down in Sarasota. You know, come by and I'll. Oh, never mind. Yeah, no, forget I said that. But for me, it was, I was glad. I was glad that I was only able to be in Queen Bee's live yesterday for, gosh, it wasn't long, less than an hour, maybe 30, 45 minutes at best. And my family was over for, they were probably there 2 hours. They had just actually come into town, and they just made a pit stop because they had to drive by my house anyway. So they made a pit stop to come and say hi before tomorrow's festivities begin. And it was good because I am so incredibly offended, disgusted. But you know, I know that it's easy to get caught up in your feelings and focus, you know, get so focused, laser focused on the emotional part of the situation that, you know, the old hard to see the forest through the trees sometimes. So it was a much needed step back. And I did finish listening to, I didn't hear every minute of it, but I did hear, I most assuredly heard the last hour and a half. And then the next thing I listened to last night, I started and finished this morning, is Paloma Unstuck. And unlike these blood-sucking, amoral, and for anyone not familiar with the term amoral, well, you know, some people are immoral and some people are amoral. And when you're amoral, you have no moral compass at all. It's just how I see people who do this. I highly recommend. In fact, if somebody could put it in the chat, Paloma's link to her channel. She did a live, I think it was about 2 hours, give or take. And she knows of what she speaks, quite unfortunately. She has lost her child. Paloma did go on Queen Bee's panel yesterday. And let me tell you something. If you want to look at someone who's got class, grace, is very eloquent when she speaks, go listen to Paloma and maybe get a human perspective on what this amoral piece of shit called Zav-Girl is so reprehensible. Go listen to Paloma, because listen, y'all, I have tried every which way but loose to, in an attempt to understand how anyone could do such a thing. And I'm sorry, I cannot come up with any good intention. This is about money and her quest for YouTube fame. And you know, something occurred to me. I know that demonic bitch is, because I'm sorry, that's how I see her. I see her as nothing less than evil. I don't give a shit that she might be soft-spoken. I give two shits about that. Oh, and incidentally, my goodness, you know, when I make a mistake, I always like to set the record straight. Oh, Amy, welcome, and we're going to listen to it, and I'm sure I'm going to want to throw one of the shoes that I'm wearing through my monitor, but, you know, I won't. And I purposely have not watched. Listen, is anybody surprised? Mike Stevens, where are you? Because you were in my chat yesterday, or no, I'm sorry. I think it was Saturday. And Mike was very adamant that Betty would never do what Zav-Girl has done. How long do we think it's going to take before Betty's got these on her, you know, whatever forum these scumbags are using to disseminate this information? I say, I don't think it'll be a week. I say, 3 days at best, but between 3 and 5. So Flo says, he was in Betty's chat this morning. I have screenshots because I was, appalled. Yeah. Yeah, Mike, I have always welcomed him here, despite the fact that he, you know, has gone beyond the, I'm not Betty. I don't try and tell people, you've got to agree with everything I say, and I'm never wrong. No, I don't do that. But many times he has, I'm sorry, it's disrespectful to me is all it is. I don't care. He can sit here and put up his bullhorns and his little roses and, That's wonderful. And he can tell me all day long how much he loves Betty. I'm cool with that. I know, but listen, unlike that idiot, I'm a grown-ass woman. And I understand I'm not changing anybody's mind about anything up here. I'm not trying to. If you're here, it's because you're of like mind. Or you just, you hate me and you're hate watching. I don't care either way. But what I don't do is say, oh, no, you can't come in my chat. You're not welcome here because you like Bullhorn Betty. No. And I've always given him way more latitude than I probably should have, because at some point you are disrespecting me when you won't, keep it to the topic at hand and everything is just about, stirring up the chat. But whenever Mike gets the boot, hey, Jaded, how are you? Hi, Literally Davis fan. Brittany, welcome. Whenever he gets just so out of pocket that it's making the chat, like, if you make my regular people that are kind enough to join me when I go live, if you get them to the point where they want to leave because you're being just so absurd, well, that's when you got to go. But I always say when he leaves, I'm like, okay, Mike, bye. I'll see you tomorrow. But no joke. When I saw her thumbnail, he was my absolute first thing I thought. So, Mike, there is that. You are on my mind, Mike. Not like that. But yeah, that truly was. I thought, oh boy, well, isn't this going to be interesting when Mike next shows up? And I have not listened to it, but gee, shocker. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can figure out where it's going. Hi, Earth. How are you, my friend? So, back to Paloma, which, interestingly enough, I have always wondered what Paloma was. At first, I thought it was, maybe like a family name or something, because there are people who use their real. I use my real name. I don't give you my last name, but and that's a pretty different. You don't know many Palomas. Let's just say that. But PPK, did I say good morning? I did, didn't I? I hope so. So hi again. But I've always wondered. And I've never. The first time I ever met Paloma was in Duke Pharaoh's chat one day when that nutbag, that fucking the MGL lady, not that MGL, the oh god, the other one who's ban evading and made 387 channels, because she's so twisted up that terrorizing YouTube is also her life's endeavor. Yeah, that's the first time I ever met Paloma, and she was very pleasant, and she actually went up on the panel, and I liked her immediately because I'm all about civility and having a little class about yourself, and it came through loud and clear. She definitely does. And then I heard her at one other time, someone else's panel speak. Hey, Wine, Crime, and Mayhem. Good morning. Hi, Lee Robinson. So after she came up on Queen Bee's yesterday, her live came up in my queue. Of course, I wanted to listen. And interestingly enough, at the very end of that live, she explains what Paloma is. And Paloma is, I believe she said it is an ancient Sanskrit term for a disruption of the natural order of things. And for you bitches that thank God you didn't reproduce and populate the earth with any of your demon seed, if you are blessed enough to have children, well, the natural order of things is children bury their parents, not the other way around. And I truly have tried to take a step back from it. Yeah, Mike, no, I don't think this is the day for you to be in here. If you want to try it, Mike, but there's going to be absolutely zero tolerance. Okay, so if you can, if you can be respectful of me and the chat, well, you're always welcome. But if you get out of pocket on this one, Mike, it's like I said, zero tolerance. Because this is not, this ain't the Betty show. You were already at the Betty show, and yeah, no, I'm never going to be confused with Betty. So as a mother, I can't completely see it. Well, I am very proudly raising my hand and saying there is no situation in this world where I can understand the motivations. Well, I know the motivation. That's very clear. That and, sons. So I got that. Well, I guess what I should say is I can't understand what is missing within you as a human being that you could have so little care or concern for your fellow women, no less, your fellow females who have lost children of any age, in any manner. I mean, I cannot. I'll tell you this. I may bust on you about, well, let's just say I love it when somebody's outer ugliness is commensurate, if not exceeded by their inner ugliness. Yeah, I love it when that happens. Well, good, Mike. I'm very glad to hear that. Hello, and yeah, I like, no, I don't suffer fools. And I really have. I've tried. I have tried. And I even went so far as to, my poor long-suffering husband. I had to explain it to him. Because my husband is typically, he's number one, obviously he's a male. And he is not, my husband is the absolute sweet spot of humanity, because of male humanity, because he can do two things simultaneously that very few people can do. He can be very analytical about something, just facts, ma'am, while at the same time having emotion about it. Don't think that there have not been several times when I've explained something to my husband or I've asked him something. I mean, this is what we do, because like these morons, they would not understand this. But, oftentimes what thinking people like to do, you have these discussions where maybe you're on opposite sides of the fence, and those are usually the fun ones. I mean, there's been many times when I've looked at my husband and said, are you kidding me right now? Are you just saying this because you're trying to piss me off? So I asked my husband. Trust me, he's very well acquainted with Betty. The other one, I didn't even bother. Like, he doesn't need to see her. His retinas have already been hurt enough by Betty. I figured why rub salt in them. And yeah, he didn't even think about it. He just said, well, she's not breaking the law because they gave it to her. He said, but it's disgusting and it's awful and it's wrong. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Listen, Mike, I'm not doing it this morning. So there's a few mods in here. I'm leaving it to you guys. You have full discretion. Do whatever you need to do whenever it's time to do it. That's it. Period. End of story. This is not the fucking Bullhorn Betty show. That's a much uglier, dumber woman who has already, we're going to listen to her. Don't worry. So I really have tried. See, I might cut you with my words, but that's as far as it goes. And truly, I am overly empathetic, if there is such a thing. I never, in a million years, I never want to see anyone hurt, struggling, for whatever reason. I mean, I promise you, I'm somebody who will pick up the tab for somebody in a store, and I'll tell the cashier, don't say a word. Obviously, it's going to be somebody who's, either behind me in line or next to me. Because I don't do it for a pat on the back. It makes me feel good to do something for someone else. If I can do something to help someone else that's going to make a difference for them and it's going to make their day better, I like to do that. And on the other hand, I like to call out dirtbags who do shitty, horrible things. And yes, those two things coexist very nicely. And I just put it this way. Nobody had to tell me that Zav-Girl doesn't have children, okay? That's a given. Because it's bad enough that you are that sub-level of human that all in the name of a buck, you would do such a heinous thing to another family. I mean, you are the absolute scum of the earth, as far as I'm concerned. You are one step above people who commit crimes. And I don't mean, shoplifting. I mean, this is absolute, intentional, deliberate infliction of, distress that doesn't even begin to cover it. And I saw in Queen Bee's chat in the comments. Hi, Kara. Good morning. Hi, Fuchsia Flower. Kit, good morning. Crazy Nurse, how are you? Oh, really? So Zav has a young niece. That's interesting. Wow. That's very interesting. I wonder how she'd feel if that were her young niece. Something tells me she'd be fucking outraged. Oh, actually, I don't know. Would she be? I mean, I don't. People who do things like that, who are profiting off of, I mean, I said this the other day, and anybody who's a parent will understand. And even if you're not a parent, but parents will definitely understand this. At least for me, my brain will not allow me to, there's only so far that I can take, oh my God, what if? Like, I think it's just a protective thing that your brain does. So despite the fact that I can only go so far in putting myself in the shoes of, you know, Gannon's parents or Paloma. How can Mike have you? Oh, hey, Voices. How can he have you blocked? Just get rid of Mike. Just, oh, he's being respectful. As long as he's respectful, that's, and no Betty cheerleading. I let you do that every other day. We're not doing it today. Oh, and Voices, I did hear you on MRB. Don't ask me. Well, I know why it came up, but I have not listened to her in, oh my God. I never listened to her on the regular, but when she and Natasha Cooper were like really going at it, well, and you know, she had a pretty big channel at one time. So if you're in this space, at some point she comes across your queue. I did listen to you last night on there, and I thought it was a very productive conversation. And you know, and she also has lost a child. Voices has lost a sister. So while I have all the empathy in the world for the families, and trust me when I say that I do, if there was anything I could do to take that from someone, I would. But there's only so far your brain will allow you to go in the what if scenario. What if that were me? And Zav and Betty and all these other scumbags. I don't know what's wrong with you people, but trust me, there's something deeply wrong with you. And I don't give a shit what kind of heat I get for it. That's the way I feel. And I'm not the only one. And you know what? Even if I was the only one, I'd still be standing here saying it. So I left a comment on Queen Bee's live from yesterday. And I want to make something very plain because I'm going to play a little clip. Apparently, I don't know if someone, and I don't even think it was in Queen Bee's. I think it was on another creator's stream. The natural question that has been asked by many people, because let's bear in mind these photos, some of them, Gannon is completely nude. And the question that was asked, and I'm going to pull it up and we're going to just listen to 1 minute of it. I don't remember who asked, but was it Rowena? Could it have been Rowena maybe? I'm not sure. But hey, TT, how are you? Oh, good voices. And as soon as I am going to I'll open it up, the panel, and shortly here, I'm going to say my piece, and here's the good news. I'm going to keep saying it, because here's the problem with this place. Y'all, we are on a slippery ass slope. Okay. I think that's what my comment said at Queen Bee's, because apparently, someone asked a question in somewhere. Could this, here's the thing. I'm stating right here and right now, I do not believe that Zav while I think she's depraved, foul, and disgusting, yes, I do. However, I do not think that she did it for, let's just say, any I think the only gratification she's looking for is this and subs, views. But apparently somebody somewhere on these streets at some time said, threw the P word out there. I don't believe that. I would never say that. But listen up, bitch. What I think would be poetic justice from the universe, and what would fix your wagon and fix it good. Do you realize that you have now opened up Pandora's box of depravity, and you have now enabled every fucking psychotic, sociopathic cretin who gets off on shit like that? Well, you've just given them that's your gift to the universe. Congratulations. And anybody who thinks that shit is not all over the web right now, it is, including the dark web. And the real Lady Justice, someone asked the question, could what you have disseminated, could that be considered CP? The real Lady Justice, who is an attorney, said, yes, it is. I don't know if that is true or not. I am not a lawyer. I don't play a lawyer on YouTube. The real Lady Justice is a lawyer. And nobody, I'm sure it goes without saying, nobody in here would ever lob that accusation at her. And if anyone does, bounce them. Mods. I don't think that's going to be a concern. But you know what? Not everybody, not everybody's going to be as ethical as I am. Not everybody's going to manage their chat, or try. And guess what? I don't give a shit what they say about you. You deserve every disgusting thing that's going to be said about you by right-thinking people. So I'm going to state one more time for the ones in the back. I do not think she is in any way a P. I do not know whether or not what she disseminated is considered CP. And there is the fact that it came from the court, which is disgusting. That needs to be changed. Whatever needs to happen to get that, so that this never happens again. And bitch, if you think, oh, it's for education purposes, and any of you who think she's just a naive little thing, yeah, no, she's not. She's not. I mean, just by virtue of the fact of some things that she talked about in her past, she's not naive. No way. I absolutely have as much venomous ire for the court system that released that. Absolutely. She is not the only one at fault here, but she was the one who chose to put them behind a paywall and disseminate them to any fucking scumbag who was willing to pay $3. Damn, y'all don't shop where I do. That's for sure. And you know, what's terrible on here on YouTube is that the bar just keeps getting, you know, it's like a limbo stick. How low can you go? Well, and everybody will be outraged for a day or two. I'm shocked beyond belief that there is anyone supporting that. And you can save your education bullshit. You know what I thought of when I heard that? Lame ass excuse for deplorable, shitty, awful behavior. You know what I thought of? I thought, well, damn. You know, as many times as I've seen Joe Scott Morgan on various, you know, channels and media outlets being played on YouTube, you know, if anybody would be in a position to educate, well, he spent a career as a legal medical death investigator. And you know, I can't think of one time where he's ever said, oh, well, hey, if you've got $3, well, I've got somebody's, you know, worst tragedy, and I just, frankly, it scares the shit out of me to think that there are people amongst us who are that depraved. And whatever comes her way because of this, and trust and believe something's going to come her way for doing this. It may not come in the form of anything we're ever going to be privy to, but the universe, it has a way of, boy, you know, for those of us who believe in karma, maybe you believe in the concept, but it's called by another name. I mean, oh God, I wouldn't want to be her. Well, shit, I wouldn't want to be her for any number of reasons, but and then of course you got people like Laura. I don't know anything about her. Apparently she had a partner, the father of one of her children, who passed away, and that cretin, Jim Terry, threatened to, I don't know, I guess do the same thing to her that Zav-Girl has done to Gannon's family. And people that she's got nothing nice to say about, we'll just say, all stood with her and for her in her, plea for that not to happen for the sake of her child. And I would, if that happened right now, and I don't listen to her, I don't go to her chat, she's not even on my radar. The only reason I know anything about her is because she seems to be like some kind of a wannabe critical K, like, oh, well, I'll just take the opposite position that most of the normal people take. And like, I want my channel so badly to get numbers, and I want money so bad that I don't care if I look like I am seated at the right hand of Satan. That's okay, because, I'm on a quest. She's co-signing this. Wow. I mean, as someone who could have been in those shoes, and rightly so, didn't want that to happen for the sake of her child. And she is now like, damn, girl, you need money and views on YouTube that badly? I mean, I don't know her, but I gotta believe that she's just well, obviously she's pretty callous. I guess if you are, I don't get it. That's why I'm, because I don't get it. I don't understand. How could a mother say this is okay? And I don't think people fully appreciate. I mean, Gavin Stouck's family and the people who loved him, even people on the furthest fringe of his life. I'm talking like maybe one of his teachers from, second grade, we'll say. If you're a normal person, it will keep you up at night. If you have a conscience. Imagine what his family, this will never, ever be over for that family. Their child's autopsy photos. Well, Paloma put it the best. They're not. He's not yours. It wasn't your right to do. You are a sick bitch, in my opinion. And that's not a medical. Obviously, I'm not qualified to do that. There is nothing you could do. There's nothing you could give me or offer me to do that. If you came walking in my front door carrying a suitcase full of cash and said, this will be yours, all I need you to do, I wouldn't look at those photos. I cannot believe anybody wants to look at that. Looking at an adult autopsy photos for real, legit, you know, career, education, etc. That is one thing. A child? And I hope that wretched, soulless bitch gets anything they can do. And I don't know that they can do anything. But if they can, I'm good with it. I mean, how many sickos do we think are out there? Listen, it never fails to shock me the level of depravity. I mean, to me, they're not human. They're just cretins. But they're out there. They are out there. And I'm sure they're all thanking her. And I don't want to hear I don't want to hear she's naive. My ass, she's naive. Bad judgment, that goes without saying. Truly, I would like to see her I don't know what I'd like to see for her. I would like to see her lose her YouTube channel, but that's not going to happen because little Miss Naive and Innocent, but you know, just a little doe in the woods. Yeah, she knew she couldn't put them on YouTube, and I guess the Patreon link is now going. I hope that everyone who is bothered enough by this, you see, because this is what happens. There's so many nut jobs on here. There's so many assholes that are, you know, willing to sell their souls to get their YouTube channel. I mean, I don't know what the end goal is. I don't. I guess a huge channel and, you know, riches beyond their wildest dreams. Well, that shit ain't gonna happen. I don't know what the goal is, but I hope that what always happens is everybody's all, you know, up in arms, and each subsequent lower, slimier thing than the last that happens, and you know, we all bang the drum, and then it's forgotten, and it's back to business as usual. And I mean, I understand this is kind of like a news cycle. But hi, Kathy P. Oh my God. That comment. That you need help. I don't know what kind, like you and me, we're not the same. Not in any way. If that bitch burst into flames, this lukewarm coffee right here, I would not throw it on her to put it out. I might, however, walk by and give it a spray of, what am I wearing today? Miss Dior. Oh yes, I love that perfume. Perfume's got a lot of alcohol in it. Yeah, I might do that. Yeah, just vile, sickening, vile, depraved, and that anybody who's on the oh, she's just naive and it's, she really was doing this because she just likes to, she likes to dig into things. Bitch, go dig into a fucking arch for your eyebrows. That's what you need to dig into. Dig into how to appear to be a mammal rather than a reptile. It's not your right. And that's what is, oh, isn't that lovely? The fact that the comment says the fact she was clipping her toenails. Why doesn't that surprise me? Oh, you know what did surprise me? Now, my goodness, maybe somebody can clear this up in the chat for me. Not that it matters, but I'm just curious now because I heard somebody say that she was trying to raise funds to move to her where her girlfriend is. But then I heard this morning somebody say that when she started her channel, it was her and her boyfriend at the time sitting at their kitchen table talking about true crime. So I was like, well, my goodness, not that it matters. Although I know what my guess is. I mean, I always thought let's just say she's not exactly that feminine. Hold on, I want to finish reading that comment. And here's where the she's naive, she's this, she's that, she's just stupid, she's just misguided, blah, 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 blah. Let's check and see how many times she's attempted to put the link back up again. Is she still doing it? If you were a decent person rather than the fucking trash that you are, you would have come out the next day and made, well, I mean, I think you would have to, I mean, I'm just going to be really brutally honest here, okay? Anytime I've ever seen her, I always kind of thought, she might, I don't know, she have a diagnosis of some sort because she seems, I don't know, she just has a very bizarre affect to me. I think she comes across like what she has now clearly shown she is. I just don't get it. But I don't get a lot of things, so it doesn't matter. I don't understand how some of these people that get fairly big, like, why? Because there are so many people on this platform that are engaging, they're smart, some of them are even attractive. I mean, not that that needs to matter, but, when all things being equal, if you've got this pile to choose from or that pile to choose from or this one, I mean, it doesn't hurt to, maybe this pile's got some, fairy dust sprinkled on it. I never got it. But I don't know how anyone is defending this. It's sickening. So let me finish the comment. The fact she was clipping her toenails, wow, that is, that in itself is quite bizarre. And here I wouldn't I don't even come on camera if I don't have time to put my eyelashes on. I mean, I just can't imagine. Who wants to watch some nasty bitch clip her toenails? I mean, that's sickening. The fact she was clipping her toenails while defending herself tells me what I need to know. She's trash. Oh, I concur. Yeah. A decent person, even just a little tiny bit of decency in there somewhere. Let's just say you are the most unself-aware asshole on the planet, and you're really not a hateful bitch like many people are thinking you are. Well, you would, if you didn't have the stones to, I love this because we've all seen, every big YouTuber, I shouldn't say every, many big YouTubers at, sometime or another, they all sit down and they give you this. Just for fun, you all put in the chat which creator this brings to mind in any community. This is a video that I hoped I would never have to make. Micah Stauffer is what I think of when I think of that. But they've all done it. Jake Paul's done it. Everybody who's made a serious misstep, the ones who, I guess, give a shit about staying on this platform, whether it's because of money, their giant fat egos, whatever the case may be. If you truly had just fucked up royal, like you dropped the ball in every ball in the closet, you dropped it from every height. You know, you dropped a golf ball from a skyscraper, you dropped a bowling ball driving down the interstate, whatever ball you dropped. You know, the bowling ball was your whatever made you appear to be warm-blooded at one time. Yeah. If any of that were true and you just made a monumental error in judgment, you would immediately, you know, if you had more stones than your average YouTube asshole, you would do it, you know, you'd do this was a video I hoped I'd never have to make. You would do it, you know, like that. If you didn't quite have stones like that, you would make a post at the very least. And it wouldn't be to all of us here on YouTube because you don't owe us shit. We already know that this community has zero standards. I mean, that's very obvious. But the family of Gannon and the people who loved him, you owe them more than you could ever fathom or understand how to give them. And there's nothing, that's why this is titled Pandora's Box. It's out. And God knows into what dank, disgusting, morbid, ghoulish corners of the internet it's gone. And that is thanks to you, Zav-Girl. Oh, job well done. I wouldn't want that karma balance, I can tell you that. No, thank you. I mean, this is truly. Hey, Gina, how you doing? Hey, Nonsense and Faithful, how are you? There is no coming back. There's no coming back from it. It's done. But that doesn't mean that she should not make, I mean, let's face it, there's nothing that wretched bitch can say or do to make this okay for the family. I mean, honest to God, I actually was sitting here wondering, do you think, because see, I like to go to what, if it were me, as far as my mind will let me go. See, because there are places my mind will let me go. Places my mind will not let me go is ever imagining my child on a metal table. I cannot go there. I can go there in my heart. I think it's even disingenuous to say I could feel. No, because your brain won't allow you until, God forbid, it happens to you. And but where I can go is this is where my mind can take me, because if it were me, this would be my thought process. And I've said this before, this is not going to be any kind of a surprise. I'm pretty certain that, God forbid, I would probably want to just follow right behind. And I do believe I heard Paloma say that. Of course. Can you imagine? How do you think she'd feel if, God forbid, this poor family who has been through, I mean, I'm sorry, tragedy, that's not a big enough word. I don't have the word. But something so horrific that there are no words. There's no words I can say or anyone else is going to say that's going to even come close to describing what these poor people have been through. And then you find out that some fucking morally bankrupt skank from YouTube has taken for her own your child's, those are his last photographs of their child, first in a suitcase and then on a metal table. Now, how do you think she'd feel if maybe one of his parents or step parents, I do believe, does he not have a grandparent that's still, I think he does still have a grandfather or a great grandfather. There was someone that spoke at the sentencing. I think it was Al's. It might have been someone's uncle. I'm not sure. Let's just keep it to the parents. Do you think she'd care? Do you think she'd care if this was the catalyst for someone going to join their son? Do you think that doesn't happen? I actually heard Paloma say, look the statistics up. It might surprise you. And I meant to do that before I came in here. And I am going to do that when I leave here, because I think it does matter, because I can absolutely imagine that happening. I think they're incredibly strong, graceful people who have handled themselves far better than I would have. I can tell you that we'd be discussing a different case. Let's just say that. So I wonder if she would care, if her actions caused someone who is at the absolute brink to just Say, I don't want to do it anymore. I can't do it. I don't know. I can't answer that question because I don't know who that soulless bitch is. All I know is what she's shown us she's capable of. And there's an old expression. You have to, well, it kind of piggybacks on people show you who they are, believe them. The one I was thinking of is you have to meet people where they are. Gina, I hear you, girl. Listen, I've already said, if it were me, she did this too, I would go ahead and I would start making peace with the color orange, horizontal stripes, Crocs, top ramen, and prison Sephora. Kool-Aid for blush and lipstick, a la Lori Vallow. Yeah, she is absolute. Like I said earlier, congratulations, you have unseated Bullhorn Betty. Oh, and yeah, let's not forget about fat ass Cooper. Yeah, we're not going to forget about her. And save me the body shaming. Why are you body shaming her? Because she's a fucking bitch. That's why. And if I want to body shame her, I will. Suck it. For the same reason I told Zav-Girl to quit putting her eyebrows on with the Sharpie. I mean, we already talked about the art. Think McDonald's. I mean, the girl's she looks like a fucking South Park character, okay? Which was the one who had just the horizontal lines? Was that Kenny or Cartman? Well, they all just had, straight, yeah. Oh. Gina, we already gave Mike the pep talk, and I think he's been behaving, so. See, because here's the thing. I'm not here trying to make money. I'm not here trying to be famous. If this channel disappears tomorrow, well, that actually probably would be doing me a favor. So I'll say what I want to say. I don't give a shit if it's popular or not. Believe it or not, there's some people that you'd be surprised how many people say to me, oh, you say exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah. But see, here's the difference. I leave all of that here in my office. I don't go and try and look up these people's families. I don't do shit like that. But when you take money out of the equation and you what are these people thinking? I just don't get it. I truly don't. And is 4chan, isn't that kind of like that Kiwi Farm deal? Listen, Running Bear, I don't know how, listen, y'all, I don't know about any of unlike these idiots that like to sit up here and tell you what terms of service, if you go to page 27, subsection C, subparagraph 2. Yeah, I got better shit to do with my life than sitting around reading terms of service, okay? I just try and, I try and be a decent person. I talk shit about shitty people. I think that's going to be my new tagline because the other one is so much to say. But it'll be hard to get the other one out of my mind because that's the one I've always had. But lately I find I'm saying that more and more. I talk shit about shitty people. I don't go after, some sweet little old lady making, banana bread and sewing a friggin' crochet toilet paper doll cover. I mean, no. These are gross people who need to be called out. And because I'm not on here grifting money, I don't have to worry. Oh, God, if I say this. God, it's just gross. Well, listen, as far as I'm concerned, these two bitches, I'm pretty sure they've already got some of their karma because look at them, for God's sake. I mean, hello. Oh, yeah, I don't play the lotto. No. You got to play to win. Yeah, no. I already won the lotto in life. That's how I feel. So I don't. Oh yeah, no. There's no morals. There's none. And I just hope that. I mean, what next? That's what I really want to know. What is next? Okay, because back to the terms of service thing. Sorry, I don't know if there's if it is possible for her to. Hi, Menace. How are you? I sure hope you're making a fabulous video about this. Oh, who are we talking about? Menace. Who are we talking about? Hold on. This damn mouse. See, this is what happens when you buy things strictly for aesthetic purposes. Like this stupid ass gamer keyboard that I wanted. My husband's like, honey, it's a piece of shit. Why do you want it? I was like, never mind. Oh, okay. Yeah, I want it because it's RGB. What's it called? Red, blue, green. Yeah, all pretty colors. Yeah. But he's right. It's a piece of shit. I'm sure there's good ones. I just don't have it. 4chan. Okay, so what is this 4chan? Should I put the link out, or do we want to wreck Betty first? Because I do want to talk about Betty. And listen, y'all, I am leaving tomorrow for a little 2-day getaway, and I am not, at least until my day's over and I'm in my lovely hotel bed with very high thread count sheets. I will not be looking at any of this shit, except in the case that I just said, if I happen to have insomnia, but that'll make my insomnia worse. So how does yeah, exactly, Gina. What is next? That's what I want to know. This is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen on here. And this naive babe in the woods. Yes, well, she wasn't too naive to know that she needed to try and what did she say? She needed to recoup her investment. Oh, honey, if you truly spent if you spent more than an Anastasia Beverly Hills eyebrow palette, which is about $30, money poorly spent, because you should have bought yourself an eyebrow stencil, number one. I mean, the wardrobe. Let's see, I'm picturing Teva sandals, maybe Birkenstocks for a fancy outing. Like I could, oh goodness, I could think of a lot of ways to better spend what it is alleged to have cost. And I don't know that she bought everything. I know it was kind of like, I mean, it's gross, but it was kind of like broken down a la carte. What yeah, she's got the eyebrows of Cartman or Kenny from South Park. Kind of the whole, yeah. See what I mean when I said some of them already got their karma? Oh, Menace. I agree. Okay. The people want the link. I'm going to drop the link. And the first person who takes the link is going to hold the fort down while I go use the bathroom. Damn it. All right, let's try this again. Where's the link? Invite. Copy. Okay. Voices. I think that MRB was breaking it down last night. I didn't listen long. Once, in fact, I think you might have still been up talking to her before I turned it off, because that was at the point of the evening where I was, taking my war paint off. I was in my bathroom with a pressure washer, taking my war paint off. Hello. All right.
Good morning.
Hi. Y'all hold the fort down while I go to the bathroom, please.
Okay, but please no making fun of my appearance. I don't live where fashion is a thing. Like boots and jeans. And I live where it's even hotter than yours.
Excuse me, I know about boots. Are they Tony Llamas?
No, they're Ariats. I'm an Ariat girl. I'm a flat footer.
All right. Hold the fort down. I'll be right back.
Good morning, Miss Emmy. How are you, love?
Good. I only watched a little bit of my bestie this morning, and man, that's all I could handle.
I haven't seen any of your bestie. I was watching. I heard that my bestie, the recliner lady, I heard she was pissed off because I went and hung out with Mommy Ramblings for an evening.
Oh well, yeah. I don't do the drama stuff. Although I guess Betty is drama.
I was gonna say, girl, what are you talking about?
She's enough for me to handle.
Okay, so here's my question: do you guys think that the court system is they're going to find out with like the fact that these photos have been outed? Hey, Catherine, do you think that the court system is going to end up finding that maybe it had a breakdown as well?
I don't think so. So I don't know about FOIA requests. I will, like, I FOIA requested because I've been following cases that Betty follows because she gets so much wrong.
Yep.
So I go to Pacer, and whatever is on Pacer is what I look at. I don't take it upon myself to deliberately.
Well, it's because you have ethics, honey. That's the difference. We're dealing like you are on the ethical side, honey. You're not. I've never questioned. It's one of the reasons I promoted you from the beginning, Emmy, was because you are on the ethical creator side. You're not on the other line.
Right. And I don't know if it's a court thing. I don't, I'd have to look more into the laws there, but
hey, Ellie.
It's oh, there it is. Why can't I see Ellie?
Comments.
There she is. For some
Give
reason,
me a second. They're a little bit slow.
Yeah. Okay. Now I see her. Ellie. Yes. And Ellie, I actually talked about Ellie in my live. Was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember. Or no, it was Bash's live yesterday, because when this all first started, Ellie was on, I think, Queen Bee's, or no, she was on Deets on the Streets. And I was like, I usually agree with Ellie. She's even-tempered, she has great perspective. And then she kind of was on Zav-Girl's side. And I was like, oh, Ellie, don't do it.
Right.
Well, then I heard Ellie on Queen Bee's panel. And she said, I went and talked to my mom. I asked her how she would feel. And I was like, okay, now I have a newfound respect, because she had her perspective. She said, okay, let me step back. Let me ask some people in my circle how they would feel. And so she could understand more why some of us are so emotional. And so I did make a comment on Dietz's live, but I've got to say, Ellie, if you saw that, I apologize. You did what I think all of us should do, and that is to explore every side of the situation and agree to disagree if it comes to that. So, yeah. Welcome back, Lisa.
And that's, hey, Running Bear.
Oh, Running Bear. Hi there.
Hey there. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Lisa, show me that cup again.
I know. I need that cup
again. Oh, yours is better. Mine's purple.
I have a few cat mugs. My sister-in-law always buys them for me. I can actually drink. Some of them you can't drink out of. They're not very functional. This one you can not only drink out of, I microwaved it and I didn't scald my lips off.
Oh my goodness, that is really cute, Lisa. I like it.
Usually the price tag is on. I think this was Home Goods.
Nice.
Hey, Running Bear, how are you?
Good morning. I'm very, very upset. This has
Okay, well,
really touched me in a way
let's help
that
you work through it so you're not in an upset place. Running Bear, let's help you work through it so that you're not upset. It's okay to feel that way, but I don't want you to, I'm afraid everybody's out here holding on to it and everybody's like kicking their dogs and shit. Like, that's what I worry about with something like this.
Yeah, it's the triggers that come along with it. The step parent abuse, it's just a lot of triggers that come along with it, not only for me, but for others themselves. And what really makes me mad is that not only did the stepmother murder him, it's that this creator has took it upon herself to violate him again in the family. His poor family is so distraught, and I can't imagine what they're going through.
No, I mean, there's just nothing. There is nothing that can make me understand this. Nothing. There's no reason except nefarious ones. It's money driven, and it's whatever.
Yes.
Whatever she's seeking for the channel. I don't know. There is no good answer. There just isn't. Period. End of story. I don't.
Exactly.
So
and
I agree.
I can't imagine the so many people that this has triggered. They've come from abused homes, and they found a little boy's story that it had an ending where Gannon got justice, and then for this bitch to turn around and shit on him again.
It's. I'm not usually at a loss for words, but I feel like the words that I have, I've already said them all, and they're not good enough. They're not like I can't.
Well, at this point, I want to find where the breakdown happened. Was it?
Please do.
Like, that's what I want to find. I want to find where the breakdown happened. Was it in the court system because somebody forgot to check a box? Or
I believe it was.
Was it in the FOIA request? I mean, where was it? That's what I want to find, is where the breakdown happened, so that we can prevent that from happening to another family, i.e. the Idaho 4. Like, I am appalled that I have heard people out here say, oh, I would like to look at those photos. Again, let's remember that we owe those victims a lot more respect than they're getting.
I mean, they deserve the integrity of, the families deserve the integrity of their children. I know that they are grown, but just the integrity of those pictures not being in the public.
No,
if it was my child, I would be sporting orange. There's no doubt.
Would be too.
Zav FOIA'd them, London girl. Emmy, I'm with you on that. Unmute and talk to us, girl. You're up here.
Oh, well, I was just waiting for others to talk. And plus, I get distracted by chat. If you've ever been in my lives, I get distracted easily. But so my thing is, there's a few things. So the first thing that really is appalling is that when you FOIA, you have to request certain things. And I watched the docket also had a video on Gannon's case file. He had a lot of the pictures in that file. What he didn't show were the autopsy photos. So I think, and this is just my opinion, when they requested this file or the picture files, whatever it's called, all of it came in that file. And they chose what to share and not share, because the docket...
That shows intent. That speaks to your intent.
Again, that's just my opinion, but that is, I think it's probably on like a CD, or I don't know if they do it electronically. I think that would be some kind of federal.
I think it's
issue
electronic. If I remember correctly, she said it was an
I think so,
electronic
yeah.
file that she got.
Yeah. So, and my thing is, like, if you want to look at the photos, that's your prerogative. But when you ask people to pay to see it, that's really sick.
It's all
Because
sick.
now you're selling, you're selling CP. You are part of the problem.
Or why can I never say that word? Purveyor of gore. It's gore porn. That's what I heard.
It's gore porn.
The other day.
Yeah.
That is so perfect.
Do you remember back in the day they had that website rotten.com?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I do.
And that's not allowed on here anymore. They don't, it's not on the internet anymore.
Right. And there used to be one, it was called, well, it was called Agrish. And then it was called Live Leak. And now they're both gone. Correct. And so now you have 4chan, which is why I initially said drop the link, because I have gone to 4chan. I will say it is not user friendly. There's no way to really find anything. So when I had heard that this had made its way to 4chan, I actually went there because I've been on there, well, not recently, but when the whole Idaho 4 was really at its peak, I was going to 4chan because it's anonymous. No one knows who you are.
Nope.
The IP address, you can't be tracked. And a lot of people actually thought Koberger had actually been on some of the threads. Whether or not that's true is
Yes, Dateline even said he was Papa Rogers.
Right. So 4chan is, but the one thing I will say in defense of 4chan is that when it comes to children, they don't play around. The people on there, whoever they are, they will honestly, I think a lot of the people on 4chan are part of Anonymous. That's just my opinion. And they will find you and they will take you down.
They'll take her whole channel down. She will be gone.
What? So 4chan is it like I'm not understanding what the platform is.
It's like Reddit on steroids. And
okay,
it's not monitored.
People in different forums talking about different things.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like a thread. So it's not really a chat room, but it's like it's Reddit where they have a post and then people comment. But the one thing that's different is after I think it's 24 hours, the whole thing disappears. So
yeah,
the thread and then it goes into wherever it goes.
Yeah, you can never get their IP address. Never.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I won't even go to Discord. Like
right? No Discord. Discord's the devil.
That to me is hard for me to. If this is the way I look at it, the grimy shit people do on here before you, I'm thinking there is no way in hell I'm going someplace where it's out of the view of. Oh, I think I would be. No, I'd run from that like my hair's on fire.
You know, you can't tell me that she would want to.
She is. I don't see her.
Probably down at the bottom.
Oh, wait. It's what? That's weird.
Yeah, it's because you've got so many of us up here with you.
Okay. Yep. I have to move the window up. That's shit. Hold on.
What was her educational purposes for this?
Science.
Claiming that's why she did it.
Science.
What science?
Yeah, she's using it as a science project. No, I don't know any of us that are scientific people.
Hey guys.
I mean, I've worked the medical field, and there's no way I would want to see Gannon's body. I have no need to.
No.
Nobody has a need to. Nobody.
No.
My education, well, initially I went to school for forensic anthropology, which is working with skeletal remains.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I have morbid curiosity. It's kind of like when you see a car accident, it's like the gaper delay. But at the same time, I know
I don't
like that.
There are professionals who go to school to do this. And in my personal opinion, the trial was enough. The photos were for the jury and the jury alone.
Agreed.
You know what? I can tell you this. I have a family. Well, it's an in-law. We have a very, very large family of in-laws. And let's just say that one of those people works for one of the alphabet agencies. And in fact, you've probably seen this person on TV at some time or another. And this person has worked different, they assign you to different units within the agency. And one of the units this person was assigned to was CP. That was one. And believe it or not, there are actually, and this is true, this was actually in a kind of like a, well, I need to be careful how much I say because I don't want to.
I was just going to say, hold up. Don't go too deep in this because you're going to be reason to start digging.
Oh, no. All I'm going to say is the people that work within that unit, there is on-site psychological, we'll just say, and it is not an option. Like, you don't get to say, oh no, I'm good, thanks. No, you must participate because of all the horrific things that trained, hardened professionals see. So there's no, hey Dis, how you doing? There's no, whatever listen, we all know what this was about. Education. Why do I want education from someone who's not, that's not her discipline. So
right.
I don't go to Betty when I want hair advice. So why would I?
Yeah.
Why would I go to her for, Joe Scott Morgan is an educator.
Yes.
Yeah. He's never.
Oh my God.
Said, hey, come on over. I want to show you something.
As a matter of fact, you know what, Lisa? Not that long ago, on one of his body bags, him and I want to say the guy's name was Mark. They actually talked about the trauma that people in this field endure. Like it was like a 42-minute.
He doesn't do that job anymore. Have you read his book? I highly recommend the book.
I got a big crush on Joe Scott Morgan and Keith Morrison. So like I've got a big crush on those two. And used to be Tom Brokaw, but have you seen him lately? Oh, poor guy.
I think I'd pick Tom over Keith. Yeah, there's a reason he's not in that field anymore. He did it for a while, and then you just can't do it forever. What happened to Emmy or Ellie? Oh, there she is. Okay. Carry on.
Look, I've had to deal with these kind of issues, and unfortunately, in the field I was in, I had to carry a deceased child out of a house. It's not this Zav-Girl. She showed not even. I get it wasn't illegal and it was her right, but how about some basic humanity? How about some basic dignity for the victim? You could have blurred the damn photos out. You could have done. You didn't even have to show the graphic photos.
Kathy, this is all part of that kinder, gentler, more ethical creator movement that podcasts and is trying to wave. It's the wave of this movement, and you're either going to get on board with it or you're going to be swept out to sea, so to speak. Because I don't think people anymore are going to tolerate things that like this. I mean, imagine if this were 6 months ago that she got these. I think it would have been way bigger than
like before the trial, you mean?
Well, like right after the trial, like within.
Oh yeah, well, Gray Hughes made a really interesting point about that. He said that like if this was like a 20-year-old case, it wouldn't be the same kind of thing, right? Because it's so new and a lot of people watched it. A lot of people are emotionally, I mean, it was just awful what was done to Gannon. Like,
there you go, Emmy or Ellie. Emotionally, she was emotionally manipulating people's heartstrings because of the attachment to the case.
I don't think so.
I do believe that by putting those pictures out, she knew that
exactly.
I don't think those were her intentions. I don't think she was that evil. I think she like maybe morbid curiosity, like people are saying. Or
honey, have you looked at her Patreon? Have you
Yeah,
looked at?
I even
have
saw
you-
the pictures actually. I wasn't going to, and I ended up seeing them, and I don't know, like it made me understand. I could see, I would think people would that were really obsessed, like Zav. I'm saying, not me. I don't like, but would be able to like gain some perspective possibly. I'm not saying it's good, and I'm not
Like
saying
what?
like
Like what? That's what I'm curious about. What kind of
like
perspective?
Cody Jones and Joneson were talking about like the blunt force trauma, like that you
Yeah,
can see in the,
she
you know,
didn't do
certain.
that. Her commentary wasn't anything educational
That poor
or
baby.
scientific.
And
It was awful.
my thing
I mean,
is, if people want to see what blunt force trauma looks like, do a simple Google search.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
I know,
you know what
but
I
this,
mean?
Right.
it was like a public trial though. If this was like somebody's personal autopsy and it was done out of like a place of malice, and I just don't
It
think
was a
Zav
personal
did it.
autopsy. It was a
A
child's
personal,
personal
I'm saying
autopsy.
it was a public case. I'm saying it was a very public case that was all, you know, that was televised. Are you able to see it through,
Yeah, but
video? And it was, I'm just saying, like, it was, I'm not saying it's not like the thing that people said about Laura's ex and doing that as like a revenge thing, as like a way to like dock somebody or get back at somebody. I don't think Zav's intentions were evil. I think she's a
I do, and I
detail-oriented
think it was all
person.
for
Okay.
money.
Now,
Yeah,
her
think they're
intentions were to
like
make money and
Hold
to
on,
rip
hold on,
off
hold
this
on.
child.
Everybody talked at one time. Nobody heard any of that. Try again.
I think it was done all for money,
Yep.
and she was greedy. I don't think she took his Gannon's family into account at all.
no, she didn't give a shit.
No.
Really, is she still attempting to? Is it still up? And if not,
I think it is.
still trying.
I
Okay.
looked.
It is.
I looked
There you
today.
and
she
I
keeps
agree with
getting
Ellie.
more
I don't think
people.
it was out of being evil. I think it was financially motivated, plain and simple.
Yes.
Which is
Exactly.
evil.
But like, what did
Which,
she get?
well,
Like
I don't see
50
evil.
people, like $150. Like, is that a financial motivation? Like $150 tops?
I don't
Maybe
care if
that
she
she
made
made.
1 penny.
Well,
I
and
know.
I
I'm just
mean-
saying, is that enough financial motivations for it to be about money? I don't think so. I don't know.
Well, I think she was planning on making a lot more, and she probably still will, because from what I understand, she's reposted it.
But
And
Yes,
isn't
she
that
has.
Natasha doing it as well? I mean, she's no better. She needs
No,
to
that's
be
a whole different story. She's taking, like, I feel what Natasha did, that's completely being exploitative and profiting because she didn't have any interest in like the
We
details
agree
of
on
the
this
case.
point.
You know what? You know
No, I
what
agree,
think
Ellie.
it is? I think it's, as far as, obviously I think it's vile and disgusting and she's a piece of trash too. But I think it's a little bit of, I love hearing that she's pulling some of the shekels out of Zav's pile of money. That
That's what
I like. But
well, and the
Hey,
thing-
look, a simple Google search, Lisa, a simple Google search typing in the name Zav-Girl. Here's information for the family. Her net worth is $45,000.
on the
Who cares about shit like that? I don't know.
is
For
that
that,
on the channel?
that's like Social
Yep.
Blade though, right? Or
Oh
what is
yeah.
it?
No,
I don't even care about that stuff.
no,
You can't
it's
go by that.
well, and the,
Like,
well, it's
I
not
think
social. It's not Social Blade, and I care because
how much
I
she's
will
worth.
help that family take every penny out of her mouth for the
You want
rest
to
of the
sue her
fucking
for
life.
this, for something that is
Thank
a
you.
court issue?
Now, I
I
do
think
believe
they
you
should
will.
send her balls into oblivion if there's a case, and I don't know if there is, but if there is, I hope that they make it as
I will make
painful
sure that
for her.
she doesn't have food in her mouth. I will make sure she doesn't have toilet paper to wipe her ass,
Why
nor
do you
shoes
like?
on
That's
her
a
feet.
lot of. That's so much.
I don't care.
Like, oh, okay.
And
And I
so,
just don't. I'm trying to
I just need
understand.
to
Like,
say something.
Can I
'Cause I didn't
break
get to
in
finish
for a
my thought.
second?
Here, let me go, and then Running Bear go.
So I had said I
Okay.
believed it was financially motivated. However, I don't believe Zav-Girl realized that when one person gets the link and downloads from that link, they now can share that for free. So if she was doing it for financial gain, she failed because, for example, say I decided to spend the $3, which I didn't. I wasn't going to give her $3, but say I did. I could then share it with all of my members for free.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I wouldn't want to see them.
I think it backfired in a way that she did not believe it would. And again, I can assume what her intent was. I can pretend I know what her intent was. I'm taking it at face value, but none of us know. And I think this is just my opinion. And seeing her reaction to the comment that was in her chat, I don't think she expected this at all.
Thing?
I don't think she expected this at all either. And I think she's completely irresponsible.
Well, this is not her first rodeo, and she's got 90 some odd thousand subs. It's like I don't know how she wouldn't have.
I just
she need a Patreon.
How she would have thought this would have gone, that this would have been a good thing.
She's naive.
Especially being so close to 100,000 subs, I think this is a really dumb decision.
I don't think she's naive.
No,
With this,
she's not naive at all.
You also admittedly don't know much about her. You keep saying she's naive. Do you know that she used to be a fucking drug addict? You are not going to tell me that drug addicts are naive.
Yeah, that's
another story. That's another story.
With this, she was naive. She wasn't thinking it through, like you said. She didn't think like, oh, people could just send that zip file to other people, even if it was financially motivated. She didn't think it through like that. I'm saying she was not thinking. She's newer to Patreon. I'm sorry, my dog.
Yeah, but she's not.
No, she's not.
And I think
she's not.
Being a dipshit does not equal being naive. I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about her, but I don't like. This is
not naive.
This is I don't think she's naive. I could buy that she ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer, but
not naive, stupid a little, like not thinking things through. I should maybe use the word naive because if not explaining the actions beyond what I'm saying she's naive about, but she didn't. She's irresponsible.
With dollar bills.
I don't think it was about that. I think it was about the what she would the evidence, because she's so. You saw what she went through with like Kylie's autopsy. Like she does. This is what she does.
That doesn't make it acceptable.
You know what? I understand all that, and that's all right with me, but to expose a child. Yeah. I live in a state where we have West Memphis 3, and we had the boys on the tracks. You will not find those children on the web with their autopsies because minors are protected.
Not in this
and
case,
Gannon should be protected as well.
He should be, but the courts is a court thing then that it's a FOIA.
Yeah, I mean that definitely to me is a.
Okay. You know what? That's fine if she wanted to review these pictures and stuff. That's her thing. But what she didn't do and should have done is, she could have.
Somebody has an echo, guys.
Okay.
It's Gina. The echo just started.
Echo.
That's not me.
Gina, maybe.
I'm gonna mute for a second. See if it's.
And Lisa,
but the one thing she didn't do and should have done is she could have blurred or blacked out some of those things that she was going over and pointing out. She did that to get the reaction from people. There was
no genitalia though. Scientific. Just so you guys know, I didn't see any genitalia at all in the picture.
Yeah,
there's no way anybody could have seen anything because there was none in that picture. I don't know. Maybe they're like twisting their eyes to see something. I didn't see anything. Me and Jones and
clearly they did.
Well, I don't know.
I was very passionate about Gannon.
You guys, we can't hear Lisa. Lisa keeps talking and we're talking over her. Hold on.
No, the only thing I'm just asking, I swore I heard Queen Bee say yesterday that she saw them and that there absolutely he was fully nude and that she did see.
You can't see anything. You can't tell if it's a girl or a boy in that specific picture. It could be a female or a male. You can't tell. You cannot tell. There is no way that you could tell that. I don't see anything in that picture. I don't see anything blurred out. I don't see that you could see anything. I don't know. That's just me.
I
I
bet
looked
you
at it.
enjoyed
I
the
don't even
child.
care, frankly, if you
Well,
may. It
quite
doesn't
honestly,
matter.
Ellie,
Doesn't
you
matter.
don't think there's anything wrong with it, and you viewed
I
the
don't
pictures.
say
I
there's
don't
anything
have to
wrong
take,
with it. I only looked at it because I've been commenting on it.
I
And I was
don't
like,
have
you know
to
what? I
take
should
your
see them.
opinion for anything anymore.
Oh, good. Don't then. I mean, I'm not saying you should. I mean, I was like, I should really look at them because there was a lot of controversy about if you can see that or not. And that does, I think it's
He
important
said
because
there
people
was
are saying it's CP. People are saying it's CP and it's not. I don't see how this could be. Yeah,
that I
know.
don't know because I don't. I mean, I
Well,
know
I haven't said that.
explicitly. I don't know anything about that, but I'm only going off what Real Lady Justice said as far as that is concerned. But the only thing I wanted to ask Ellie about was because there was one. No, Gina, it's you. Do you have something on?
No, I have everything closed.
Yeah, there's an
Okay,
echo.
try muting it until mute for a minute, and then let's see if it.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
got something with.
Gina, are you on your phone? Make sure your volume is down on your phone. Just saying. I
I'll
do
let-
that a lot.
Yeah, I'm on my phone. Well, then I won't be able to hear you guys.
Hold on, hold on. Let me just.
I'm gonna drop down and maybe that'll help. Maybe there's too many of us up.
No,
That's
it's
not it.
been doing this the last couple times I got on panels.
I think
Okay,
it's that.
I'm gonna leave.
Thank
Thank you, Lisa, for doing this live.
Well, thanks for coming up. Ellie, the one thing I was, well, I was asking you yesterday, but I wasn't on the panel, so you couldn't hear me. Was
Okay.
somebody brought up Gannon's family, and you know, if Zav's intentions were good, then why did she not consult with the family first? And you said something to the effect of, well, maybe she didn't want to, you know, hurt them with that. And the thing that as soon as I heard that, I was like, okay, so she doesn't want to hurt them by asking their consent to take their child's, you know, basically when their whole world imploded and ended. But she doesn't want to do that because she wants to spare their feelings, but she's okay with putting their
But
child.
it just happened in a trial. It just happened in a trial where those, you know, I mean, I think they might have left the courtroom when the autopsy
That
photos
was my
were
understanding.
shown. Yeah, and the thing with Zav, I know it's become this big thing and it's gotten out, but I just think from the get-go, I'm saying from the very beginning, from where this all started, her intentions weren't to make money and to, like, you know, cause this ruckus that she caused and to do any harm to the family. That's why I thought, why would she bring more attention by asking them or whatever it is that, you know, somebody said maybe go through a victim's advocate. I don't think she thought anything through that. Because I don't think she thinks through like that.
She knew what she'd be told.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
I'm not
why
going to
even-
listen. I
I don't
proudly sit here and say I have no idea on earth what her intentions were, and I don't really care what they were. It is one of the cruelest, most callous things I've ever seen someone do. Definitely on this platform. I mean, I don't go to all the other socials, so I can't speak for other places, but here, I mean, this is just next level, and I can't imagine being. I mean, somebody said that something about she's got a niece that she brings on her channel all the time. I mean, can you honestly tell me you think she'd be cool with somebody? God forbid it was her niece. Would she be cool with someone doing that?
Yeah, making
Hey,
points like,
Lisa.
oh, there was maggots.
You had a sister that
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop down because I have to bring my mama cat for a checkup, but I just wanted to say a couple of things before I go. Bash the Tragedy Pimps has been commenting, so I wanted to just read her comment.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. She looked to verify if what was being said about Zav was true, meaning the unblurred photos. The private parts are blurred because Bash actually does have the file. The second thing,
But were they always blurred?
No.
what's that?
were they always blurred?
No, they were not.
And I
always
No, they
blurred.
weren't.
personally, I don't even care. To me,
I don't know about that because Bash got it pretty quickly. But I don't know. That's for here or there. And there was something else I wanted to say, and now I don't remember what it was. So I guess I'm just going to drop down and try to remember what the heck I was going to say. But I will see you all later.
Thanks for coming up.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay. Hey, SoFlo, how you doing? Where'd Gina go? Gina leave
She
again?
has a right to do the content she wants to. She does.
Oh, I don't
But
have
she
any
also
problem
has
with
a
her.
right to show respect and dignity. She could have discussed all that without showing photos and making comments like, "Oh, is that maggots?" You know, come on.
It's
That was
vile.
for effect. That was
Vile.
the reaction.
Yeah, I don't. I'm glad I don't understand her motivations, because if I did understand her motivations, then I would be like her, and I am nothing like her. So, and to me, whether I don't care whether the images are blurred or not. It's just incredibly callous, cruel, vile. It's just sickening. So to me, it's like all you do is just take something that's as disgusting and vile as it can be, and you just make it a little more so. I mean,
Well, at one time, were the photos not blurred that people were seeing
I
things
don't know.
and actually making comments?
Yes, because of the comment about the marshmallow comment.
Yeah, they would have had to have seen it to make that comment.
I mean,
You would
how
hope.
sick is that? Who?
Yeah.
I mean,
That was a sick comment.
yeah, and that just shows you what I'd be curious to know is, was that addressed immediately, or was that, float on by?
Hey, I like Chronicles of the Shadies comment. Are y'all scientists or in a teaching setting for others that are trying to get a degree?
But I did bring that up. Like, what if, like, this, Zav is very, like, what if she does want to, like, get it? Like, I mean, I know that this isn't like YouTube. Yeah. I mean, like, it starts somewhere with people, like, when they're very interested in things. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just feel like she should be able to do whatever the fuck she wants.
She can talk about whatever she wants, but to me, no, it's just sick.
But if all those people forwarded it individually, then there's no problem. But because she shared it with some of those people, it becomes a problem. The FOIA is a problem. It's not really Zav. She's just like a point of distribution.
She's a problem too, because just because she got it didn't mean that she had to use it. I mean,
it became bigger than the attention brought to it, made it bigger and brought more eyes to it than it ever would have had. That's the thing, though.
Ellie, she promoted it for weeks.
Yeah, that's a problem.
She promoted
She did not.
it.
Voices, show me that community post. I didn't find it anywhere.
Go watch what Mommy Ramblings brought out last night. Go watch what Mommy Ramblings brought out last night.
It was a la carte, I believe.
Okay. I didn't see that. Is the community post on there? Did she delete the community post? I'm just asking a question, Voices. Because I went back to look and the community post didn't have anything about Patreon or autopsy photos or $3. Is there one that was deleted?
All of that,
possibly?
Ellie, but there are other places.
No effing way, says she.
No, I'm just curious if it was deleted or not. I'm just a question because I
don't know, Ellie.
Well, then why were you telling me that yesterday? You were telling me that the community post was advertising her Patreon for $3 for autopsy photos, that it was a marketing thing.
Right, and I'm telling you, if you want to know where my proof is at, go look at what Mommy Ramblings put out live last night.
Mama
MRD.
Okay, it's on
Mommy
there?
Ramblings blog. It was on there last night. MRD showed everything.
Well, she had to have done some type of advertising to let people know that she was doing it and releasing them. I don't know.
Hey, guys. I just want to know where the responsibility is for the creator. Like, why is no one talking about where's the responsibility as a public creator?
Exactly.
I've said the same
who is
thing,
supposed to advocate for children. I have 2 small children, 1 10, 1 3, and I can't even imagine this happening to my son. I would want to kill somebody, to be honest with you. I hate to say it that way, but for anyone to think that this is right, it's absolutely disgusting. And I think it's almost on the verge of child P. Whether or not they showed his private areas, that's his naked body. I don't know how anybody could agree with Zav on this. She's not a scientist. She is a YouTube creator who is exploiting children.
You know what? Here's what I'm going to say. I have no idea what or if there any possible repercussions are for this, but I'm saying right now, I would be A-okay with any and all. That's no sympathy. I have zero sympathy for that bitch.
Ding, 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 ding.
No matter what, you know. And I am going to say this. I do think that and Ellie, please, this is not a condemnation of you. But what I'm going to say is when you have had children, it's a love and a bond that is different from any bond you will ever have in your life. It's different than the love you have for your spouse. It's different than the love you have for your,
yourself, anything. I mean,
yeah,
anything.
So I can see where I understand that it takes things to a level when it's a child, that I will say I think it can be something that is more difficult to understand if you haven't had kids. But I'm just the person who, even if this was not a child, I would still have a problem with it. Because I just think I think it is so, my God, you want to talk about presumptuous and like, who the hell are you to think that you have the right to someone's autopsy photos? I mean, it's just foul.
And if she was that curious, why didn't she contact somebody in her family that's passed away and done her science experiment on somebody in her family?
Yeah, right. How about that?
You know?
Yeah. And I wonder what she'd say. This is what I'm very curious about. Well, actually, I guess I know what she would say, because I know what she hasn't said. And what I was going to say is, I wonder if someone asked her right now, what do you think about, in light of everything that's being said, what if you had this to do over again, would you do it? And I guess by virtue of the fact that she's not made so much as, this was at the very least, not well thought out. But she's, she hasn't even done that. So I guess that's the answer to the question for me anyway. And hello to everybody coming in that I did not say hello to. Welcome. Okay, go, y'all.
I just want to ask Voices about that MRB thing. I'm just really curious because I just wanted to see, like, because I didn't see any
a little bit of that too.
Oh, you did? What do you know what channel that is, Lisa?
Do I know what?
It's called Mommy Ramblings Blog, Ellie. MRB, Mommy Ramblings Blog.
And Voices comes on pretty early into the stream, I think. So you don't have to go too far.
I just couldn't find it when I
that was
searched
night
for
before
it.
last. Okay, that was
I just
night
don't have
before
the
last.
channel. That's all.
Oh,
for the channel link.
Last night.
All one word. Mommy.
It's not who. It's not when. It's mommy.
Mommy Ramblings Blog, and I believe.
Okay.
I think it's all one word. She does it, but that's definitely the channel.
Okay, so it's last night's live stream that she did, where she showed everything where Zav promoted, and I don't know how far in because.
Okay, I got it. I found it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just didn't know. I've never heard of that channel before. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah,
I was asking back chat.
I don't know why she showed up in my feed. Frankly, I saw her, way back in the day, but I haven't watched her in forever, but it came in the feed. So I was like, okay, well, let's see what she's got to say.
And I fully respected her opinion. I was I was grateful to join the conversation. I feel I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, not sorry. I'm not sorry for how I feel on this. This is a sticking point for me. I have had families that I work with affected negatively by social media. I've had the family of a missing man have to move from their home because they were stalked repeatedly by social media. This is no different. I mean, honestly, Ellie, I up until this moment, I adored you. But quite frankly,
You hate
this
me
is
now.
like
That's what,
where we
stop
break
it,
up.
voices.
Like, I don't want to
Oh
be
my
on
God, we're
panel or
breaking up
around you.
over this. Oh my
Like,
God, are you
and you can say
fucking
I'm
kidding
overreacting, but
me?
I don't want to be around
Oh
anybody
my
that's
goodness.
seen those
Okay.
photos. Period. The
Oh,
end.
come on
That is an
now.
Are you
absolute.
serious?
Can
Well,
you hear
then
me?
there's a whole bunch of people that you've been hanging around, girl, that have seen them.
And
Yeah,
that's
that,
fine,
Saying,
but I won't be back.
and you don't
There's
know.
lots of places I
Well, then
won't
you're not
go.
going back to Queen Bee or nobody ever again. That's
I
it. You're done with
guess
everybody
not.
now. I
That's
guess
fine.
so.
I'll
Okay.
stay
Well,
over
I'm
here.
sorry about that.
This
I'll
is
stay on my
just
own little corner.
really,
I'll cut my nose off to spite my face, but this is the hill I'll fucking die on because I'm not okay with any. You guys want to see my sister's fucking autopsy photos? You bunch of sick
is not-
fucks. Shame on you all, and I hope you all go to hell. Fuck you.
Okay. Well, there you
Hey,
go.
can you hear me?
yeah, that's much better.
See,
Am
I
I
don't
echoing?
see.
Princess, yeah.
It's
I
too
mean,
emotional,
honestly, I don't.
guys.
Yeah, but I get it. I mean,
You
she's.
get it? I mean, I don't understand.
I mean,
Like, this
well,
is
I get
so
that
crazy to me. How
coming
crazy?
out
I mean,
from she's got a different experience for sure than
I get
than
it.
I do.
We all
I mean, I'm
come.
lucky. I've never lost
I'm not
a
gonna lie.
sibling, a child. I think
We all
I'm
have grief,
sure.
though. We all know what
I,
grief is. I know losing a child is the most awful thing, and you don't have to like have a child or not have. Voices doesn't have kids. You don't have to have a child or not have a child to look at this and have your own opinion about it and not hate each other for it. Like hate each other for other opinions. What I just feel like that it's gone off the rails at this point. Like really,
Hey.
you're gonna really
I
hate
think
me for like understanding somebody's opinion. I wouldn't
she
do what
doesn't.
she
She
did.
doesn't hate
Yeah.
you. You know that.
No, I know.
honestly,
I don't
I've
give a
lost a child, and if someone would have done this to my child, to his autopsy photos, you can bet your ass I'm coming for you. Because it's a child, period. There's just no other, nope.
I agree. I mean,
Hey, good afternoon,
Hi.
ladies. I just wanted to jump up here and say that some people are so grounded in their past convictions that no matter what the circumstance, who we're talking about, a minor, something this egregious, this emotional, even from going to the grocery store and cutting in line, some people just have to play victim. Voices, you are not a victim in this situation, and you should not be disowning people and telling them to go to hell. Apparently, that's happened to you all your life, so you know how it feels. So buckle up, honey. Get with the real world. Keep being you. I hope you get through this and you come back. But if you don't, good riddance. Sorry,
Yeah.
not sorry.
That was not
I
right
can't
to say
take
to
it
Ellie.
anymore. This is ridiculous. The fighting, and now, oh, I'm not going to associate with anyone who has seen these pictures. Some people are viewing these pictures, myself included. I have not yet, but so that I can make changes in my state regarding laws, I have to view them in order to send them to people who can make the changes and inform them of what they're going to see. Okay?
see, there's
A
just
true
no-
advocate
I
would
can't.
understand that.
Yeah. Let's go to the
Well,
legislation.
listen.
Let's write letters. Let's call people. Let's like make this like let's get that like Lady Justice like template circulating. That's how you change these things. Like I feel like this is a court issue, right? I don't know.
Yes, it is absolutely.
To a degree, the fact that was
Yes.
it a mistake? If it was a mistake, I might like look at this. If it was a mistake and she was sent more than
Well, listen, this is what Mommy Rambling said last night, and she certainly sounded like she knew what she was talking about because she was rattling off numbers. And from what she said, what I gathered is this kind of is like the FOIA. It was kind of, let's just say, a la carte. If you wanted the jail phone calls, that was like, oh God, it was thousands upon thousands. If you only wanted, X, that was $500. If you wanted,
Yeah.
and she went down and read several different, pieces that were available and gave. So I feel like she must know somewhat what she's talking about on that, because like I said, she was rattling off numbers. So it absolutely is it was a complete and utter failure of the clerk or whoever let this out. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that bitch had to use those for her own enrichment, whether that was money, subs, whatever it was. She didn't do it for no reason. And there's nobody in the world that will ever convince me that, she just did it all for the sake of science. Because if that were the case and it was just for her own, edification, so she could learn X, Y, and Z, she would have just done that in the privacy of her home with me, myself, and I. So
You're right. I think she did it, and now she's saying it was for science. That's her excuse. She knew it was wrong. She did it anyway. Well, it was for science, guys. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, except the real science. You notice there's no scientists on YouTube
None at all
doing this. So yeah, it's. I guess she probably had to say something. Well, I don't know. Maybe she didn't. Because for somebody like me, there's nothing she could say where I would go, oh, okay, yep, I get it, fine. So, but
I mean, she could have pulled a House of Williams and just said, well, I did it because I wanted to do it, and that's that. Right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Gina, but I mean, that was respectful. She owned her crap, and whether you liked it or not, I'm doing it. She didn't say, well, I don't know, guys. What do you think, guys? It was for science. What do you mean it's unethical? Oh,
Can I just
look at France's comment if you can see it. It says she didn't apologize to Kylie Rodney's family when they asked her to stop, and she has not stopped doing this. So that is a good point.
May I say something, Lisa?
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say, this is Crazy Nurse. I just want to say one brief thing. I'm like,
why am I not seeing you, but you're talking? Okay.
That's I see that too. Okay.
Because I have special gifts, okay?
I know that.
No, I just want to say that for a mother who lost her son in the Army, the photos I have never seen and never want to see. And I don't want anyone else to see them either, because they're really bad.
Yeah.
And I just think that it was in very poor taste. It's the parents, it's the survivors that are devastated, and now the devastation is happening all over again. And I'm so very sorry, and everyone is entitled to their opinion and what they believe, and I'm fine with that. But just remember, there are real mothers and fathers and siblings and everyone else connected to this child. And when people do things like this, they're shooting through the heart one more time. And just when you think that it's getting better, because you never get over this, you get through it.
Never.
And just when you think you've got a step, one more step in front, something like this happens and you're 3 steps back again. That's all I wanted to say, Lisa.
Oh, well, I love you.
I love you.
I'm sorry. And
So I hope that helps when there are those who want to support her or people that do things like this. Remember, there are real families and real people
I
suffering.
mean, and you know, the court to say that, well, this was part of the trial. Well, yes, it was, but it was also done as respectfully as possible. And they had to do that to secure a conviction. And I mean, we've seen the screenshot of at least one heinous, disgusting thing that, I mean, my God, that is, I don't get it. I'm glad I don't get it. I'll never understand anything like this.
We can't understand, Lisa. We don't understand this
No.
mindset.
No.
So, but I'm going to drop down, and I just wanted to share that.
I appreciate it.
Okay. Love everybody.
Have a
Bye.
good day.
You too.
Goodbye, my friend.
I would like to add at the end of what she said that this is something that a parent who loses a child never gets over. It is a struggle you live with every single day to try to heal, okay? What Zav has done here is put these parents being able to heal in their own time back. She has set this healing process back so far for them, and that is wrong.
I just can't, like,
because now they're going to go through more anger.
To know that some bitch from the internet is using your child.
Yes, your child.
Yeah.
Your
I haven't lost
born
a child, but I have a lot of empathy, and you know, maybe too much, because it, like, this guts me to think about this. And I promise you, if it were me, I don't think I would be able to get through. I really don't. I don't think
I
could
would
ever
be in
do
jail.
something like that.
You think she should be canceled for this, Zav? Completely? Do you guys think that this is like should be?
I don't
done
believe
away
in
for her?
cancel culture.
I do.
However, I do think
I
she's
don't.
canceling herself.
It's not, let's just say this. I'll say what I said before. Any and all consequence that can and or will come her way, I will not lose 1 second of care from,
Me either.
you know, from nothing. Well, you know, it's easy to say you're not about cancel culture until it's you that is egregiously wronged. And I'm not that person who's going to go at I'm not going to do one. I'm going to call her out. I'm going to call her a piece of shit, because I think that's what she is. Am I going to go and make it my mission to see something happen to her consequence wise? No, I'm not. But if it does, I'm totally fine with it.
I mean, people have said, I'm going to take your YouTube channel for far less. Far less.
I think it's, you know, this is a kind of like when your parents tell you when you first start driving a car, or, you know, it's a privilege. It's not a right. You don't have a right to exist on this panel, on this platform, no matter what you may say or do. And that, I mean, that's just the reality of it. We don't make those decisions, but you know.
But YouTube does, and
yeah.
Just like free speech, though.
Well, that's the
viewing
thing.
it. People are viewing it like, well, this is free speech. Well, you're not
still-
just speaking. You're showing vivid, horrible,
But that's part of
graphic
FOIA.
images.
That's part of public records thing. That's the thing that I don't know, that I get stuck with, truthfully, with this whole thing, is the FOIA part of it. And that if it wasn't FOIAble, if it was a mistake maybe from the courts, then yeah. But if it's a legislation thing, then
then
then it's a
needs change.
legislation thing. That's bigger, and that takes a
Right,
lot
then
of
she's in
time.
the clear. Legally, anyway.
No, she's
Morally,
not in
there's
the
no
clear.
clear.
No, because
Morally,
as
no.
a creator, you're responsible for what you're putting out there for your content.
On YouTube, but on Patreon, it's supposed to be more private and more like for my
But-
Patreon members. I know there's molds and it's become something bigger and she didn't think it through, but she didn't put it on YouTube. She didn't even, I don't think, advertise for it on YouTube. People said she did, but I didn't see her advertising for YouTube. Maybe on one of her streams she did.
So let me ask you this question, because I don't think this is too far off of a scenario. And for anybody that this is going to make feel gross, that's not my intention, but I'm going to make an analogy because to me, it's not so far off. There's all kinds of nut jobs in this world who want to see all kinds of gross shit. And there are actually people who want to watch other people unalive themselves. So is that okay? I mean, obviously not here on YouTube, but on,
Of course,
let's
I don't
say,
think it is. You know,
so, no, I
Personally.
definitely don't. But there are people that
that's sick
there
people.
are people that will say, well, hey, if they're going to do it anyway and they're cool with it, what's the problem if I want to watch it? I mean,
well, that's a morbid curiosity thing you're talking about with, you know, with all of this, you know.
yeah, it's a very slippery slope. And
It is slippery.
I don't think that, I mean, do y'all mean to tell me you think Molly Golightly, that anything she did was worse than this? Because I
don't
do not think.
No,
they're just different
I
kind
don't.
of people.
That's what I'm
Zav is
saying.
just like obsessive. Like what I remember of Zav, like when I watched her during Kylie Rodney and stuff, like she would just go through every little thing. She would do like 12-hour streams on like,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't watch it. I couldn't watch her. I would just
I
pop in and out
watched
just
it.
to see. I watched the fire cam stuff because she went really super deep into that night that it was released. So I did, because she's very detailed and she's very obsessive and her mind is a certain kind of a way. And that's what that's the only thing I'm trying to like explain or whatever, because I could kind of understand that kind of, because I get obsessed with cases too. And
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I mean, to me, she's as exciting as watching grass grow.
I know it's not
don't get it.
exciting.
I've never
It's not
gotten it.
exciting.
And
No.
I don't care about her being, you know, into the nitty gritty details. Great, whatever.
She takes
But
it too
this
far.
This is
Yeah, she takes it too far in general with like her coverage of Kylie Rodney, for example. She takes things way too far. But I think with this specific thing, I don't know. I feel like she was. Oh, yeah. Echo.
Yeah, she exploits. She's a tragedy pimp. She is a tragedy pimp, and as far as I'm concerned, she's the head of the tragedy pimps now. She's earned that distinction.
But you can't use her Patreon saying that it was in her Patreon, because when I was saying about her being a creator, she's a YouTuber. That's why she has that Patreon as a YouTube creator. So she's still doing it there. It doesn't matter. She's still responsible for what she puts out, whether it be on YouTube, on Patreon, on Facebook, wherever.
Yeah.
And if it was her 11-year-old child's pictures, she wouldn't want them out there. There's no way to do that.
Her certain way. Now, of course, I don't see what this is responding to, but it's Catherine says her certain way was to not let YouTube get their 30%.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody.
Hi. How are you?
I'm fine. I live in Denmark.
I was going to ask you, what time is it there?
Time it is.
Is it nighttime?
19:25.
Okay, so 7:25 our time.
Yeah. We can't get that kind of photos here in Denmark. Of course, they're used in a trial, but you can't get them afterwards. Because what am I gonna use them for? It's none of my business.
No.
It's none of anybody's business. It's for the court, and it belongs to the family, if anybody. And I think just because you can do something doesn't mean you must. And another thing, I find it to be very, very what do you call it, impartial to the family. It's there's no ethic in it, and morally, you must be very small to do a thing like that. And I think
I
she
agree.
did it only for the money, and that's my opinion only. So
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't know what she did it. I mean, clearly, I believe I've heard many times on several different places lately that she said, well, she had to charge because she's got to recoup her money.
yes, and another thing, she's not a nurse. She's not a biologist.
No,
She's not any kind of doctor.
no,
She
she's just a
can't
Jessica
say
Jones.
it's for education because I'm a nurse. I don't want to see them. I would never see pictures like that of a kid
No. Oh,
that
God,
had been
no.
dead for
God,
several
no.
months. And I've seen a lot of dead people, but never
Everybody will
anything
tell you
like
children
that.
are different. My
Yes.
father-in-law was a firefighter, and he said the only thing that really ever bothered him was children, and
Yes.
that was what he would see like in his nightmares.
Yeah.
So think about going
Yeah.
out of your way and paying money to
I
see
followed
somebody's
the
dead baby.
trial. I followed the trial on Chasing Truth.
I couldn't because it's just I
But
have a son.
but
I
when
couldn't.
the autopsy photos were shown, because they were shown in the trial, she blurred.
You mean
So
the
we didn't have to
court
see them.
TV showed
Yeah,
the photos?
blurred pictures of Gannon's body. Yeah, and Tracy's
Wow.
Jews put a screen up, so we didn't have to see that.
I mean, I'd be willing to bet that every juror that had no choice but to see them,
Yeah,
wish
but they
they
were
had.
blurred. The
Yeah.
camera that was on made them blurred, but I couldn't imagine that the juries saw them perfectly.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, I'm so happy I don't have to sit there in that courtroom today. You know? Yeah.
I mean, it's been said this mother, Landon, was not able to go identify her son. This is what I've heard. I don't know if it's 100% accurate. It's what I heard. But now, with these being out publicly, I would never want to see them myself. But now with them out publicly for the world to see, I would need to know what they're seeing of my son.
Well, and you know
that
what?
is heartbreaking.
You know what's really sick?
You wouldn't be able to recognize him at all.
It's heartbreaking.
There will be some sick, evil bastard that will go out of their way to send them to them.
Yes.
I know.
They will. They will, which is, God. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's happened to society that we are so desensitized. I mean, not all of us, but.
And think about one more thing. He was burnt. She drugged him. She smashed his face in. She stabbed him. And then she shot him. Over 45 hours or 44 hours.
Yeah, see, I couldn't watch the trial. I tried, but it was just.
So he was alive. He was tortured to death. And now all that shit is out there.
Yep. And
think about that.
Sure, it is in the worst places on the web.
Yes.
Did we lose somebody? Oh, did Gina drop down?
She did. She needed to bounce.
Well, I don't know, y'all. It's just, and I haven't even gotten to Bull Scorn Betty. I'm shocked that Betty is, let me guess, white knighting. Is she going to be the wingman? Well, of course, because Betty's seeing dollar signs. So my guess is that Betty's going to try and, smooth the road a bit. Betty's laying the groundwork so that she can
do the same.
I think she's getting her people, geared up for what she's going to do. And, Betty and every other, amoral dirtbag that sees an opportunity to make money and grow their channel, well, they'll do it too. And each subsequent person that does this, it's going to become more and more normal or acceptable, because it'll be, well, I'm not the one who got it. It's this one's got it, that one's got it, they've talked about it, this one's shown it, so what's wrong with me doing it? I mean, you watch, that's what's going to happen, I guarantee you.
You remember a certain child who was found in a landfill?
Yes, that's horrible.
And you remember what Betty was saying about that child outside the house screaming at the mother about, I'm going to say it, trigger warning, but bag of bones.
Yeah, with
She
maggots on
will.
it. Yeah.
I really feel like she will do
Of course she
exactly what
will.
Zav did with Quentin Simon, just to prove she was right, that when they found him, he was bones, because she's been saying that and we've been yelling at her for saying that. And she's going to be like, see, it was true.
I mean,
I don't put anything past her.
Oh, no. God, it is so frustrating to me to see, like, wow, this is what people want? They want people who are like repeatedly. I mean, Betty is her own cottage industry. She gets punked on the daily for all the stupid shit she says from the day before. And
I'll go down again because I just wanted to say that. Because you can, just because you can doesn't mean you must.
You are absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming up. It was nice talking with you.
Thank you.
Gina, go take care of yourself. I know Gina, I've seen Gina in different chats very upset and bothered by all this, which is good. Gina, that's a good thing, girl.
It's emotional for people. I get it. It kind of like
it is.
It's heavy. It's heavy. And it like brings people's own traumas into it. I don't know. There's a lot of grief that people carry, and this like kind of triggers that grief, right? And I think this is also, I was thinking about this, like, it's like how we look at death, and like how other cultures look at death. And I don't know, for me to like see some of those photos, like I was able to detach because it's like a body that's like starting to go back into the earth in a way, not to be too spiritual and stuff, but like his soul is, who I blame in this whole thing is Letitia for what she did. You know what I mean? I'm angry at her. I'm not angry at Zav. I'm angry like at the position that boy was left in. You know what I mean? It's awful. This whole trial, I think, is awful. And I think we're blaming the wrong people for the atrocities of it. Possibly.
I think we should blame all the people.
I blame everybody. I don't know.
Everybody who's, and that's another thing. It's like, it would be one thing to try and play this as, if this case had turned into like an OJ situation where, God forbid, she'd walk free. It still would be vile.
It's an awful.
But it's done. It's been adjudicated. Letitia is never going to see the light of day. And none of this was necessary. But
I mean, I disagree with her getting, I don't know how to phrase this, life in prison, because I'm for an eye for an eye when it comes to children, for sure. Okay.
Oh, me too.
So
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I were going to, not that you can do anything, but spread awareness to the court that this is the person who should have gotten the death penalty versus life, I could see those photos surfacing.
I'm okay
But nobody's
with,
doing that. And I wouldn't share them publicly like that.
no.
But I would use them in my fight to pursue changes in our punishment and what we consider justice.
Mm-hmm. It should be sealed. I don't know why they would even be. It seems like, I guess after death, they're unsealed. People were saying that that's like a thing. You know
I
that.
heard someone, and I'm not sure who it was, and I don't even know where it was. It was somewhere on my travels on YouTube, and someone was saying that in their jurisdiction, though, no way would those autopsy photos have been released, and it would have taken a judge's order for this. I don't know if it was somebody who worked at the clerk. I don't remember, but they just said, no, it would be nothing short of a judge's signed court order that I release those photos.
See? See, that's interesting to me because that it seems like it starts from there, you know,
It definitely starts there. I mean, it does. That is an absolute failure. But so what's new? It's the government. They fuck everything up. I mean, that's what they do.
The bottom line is she made the choice to show them. Yeah. She did not have to.
Yes.
That was her choice.
But her subs wanted to see them, I think. Well, that's what, you know. And like they could have lawyered them themselves, you know.
And I can't help but wonder if there was some type of breakdown between him being found in Florida and then the trial being in Colorado and two different sets of rules and why they were released. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, even being in Florida, I don't know because I don't do any of that stuff. I couldn't. But in all my life, I've never, in 53 years, I've never heard of something like this being released. I mean,
well, you don't want to like take all of FOIA away.
No. Listen,
no, I've been saying in general. I'm not you.
I've got no problem with everything being available, with the exception of the photos. I mean, I can even deal with the crime scene without Gannon. That I can even be okay with that, but his vote, no, that's a bridge too far. I mean, it's just too much. I just feel, for me, it's about his family because I don't have a personal stake in this. I am offended, disgusted on behalf of those parents and the baby. I mean, it's just, and he is a baby, okay? 11, was he 11 or 12?
11.
Was he 11? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a baby.
Yeah, of course.
It's, I just don't know. I mean, I'm not going to be the one to bring about any kind of consequences for her because I can't, and it's not for me to do. But it just really makes me wonder if this goes unchecked. Well, what next? You know, all communities are supposed to have, it's the, you know, the legislators may make laws in our communities, but the community should have some say in the standards of the community. You know, I guess I mean, there's enough grimy things that go on without this.
And I mean, trust me when I say this has caused this family irreparable harm.
Oh my God.
It has.
Worse.
And I would sue the pants off of her.
Oh, hell yes, absolutely. And even if the clerk gave them to her, okay, but the way she's disseminated them, and if they have a case, and they may, I don't know. I hope they do. If they have a case and if they decide to pursue something, the fact that she disseminated them for money, that is going to be very problematic for her. And I hope it is.
Do you think like $150 though is like, that's like, I mean, I'm not saying there's a number you could put on it, but you like, do you think that that's like her big motivation was like maybe $190 to $150 if she got like 30 to like 50 Patreons?
See, I don't know anything about her. I don't know her like that. I if I had to guess, I would, to me, it was probably twofold. And maybe, I know she was close to 100K, which is, don't think that's not baffling to me. Maybe that was the main motivator, was like, oh, well, if I do this, that'll give me that push and get me over that finish line. And hey, I got to recoup my money.
Yeah.
So,
I think in her mind, she thought there would be more people like her who wanted to see them.
I was going to say that. Yeah, I think she probably counted on a much bigger. In fact, hopefully she's going to sit back and go, oh my God, if I'd have known X, Y, and Z, I would have never done this.
And for the family, that $190 doesn't mean crap.
No, and it doesn't mean anything to me either. I don't care if she made a penny or if she made $1 million.
She's still out. I mean, she like, if she's paid like between $400 and $500 for it, you know what I mean? Then it's not like, I feel like, I mean, she wanted to get that. Like, did she want to get that because she could think she could make 2,000 from that? I don't think so. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I don't think she put out $400 to make back 150. Maybe, you know, like I was saying to somebody else, I know this is not the same, but like in the Johnny Depp trial, a bunch of lawyers like crowdsourced funding to get the transcripts because they were like a certain amount of page, and they were very like expensive to get that. And so it was like thousands of dollars though. So they crowdsourced it. And so, you know, like, I know this isn't that, but like, that was maybe in her, you know, like her mindset, like, oh, okay, I'm just like, you know, like, I'm not saying Zav is like a good person, or I don't know her, so I can't get into her mind and say this was her motivation for this, this, and this. I'm just trying to like understand like where she's coming from, because I don't think she really did it out of malice. That's all. Like, I just don't think she did it to make money or out of malice, but you guys think otherwise, and she could have done it out of money. I could just be totally misreading the thing. But from that first day when people came over from the Hive and were like dropping comments, like I could see her reaction to it, and it was, she felt misunderstood, to me, only to me, not to anyone else, I guess, you know. But she felt really misunderstood, that she was doing it because she likes to see everything when she's in a case. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong, and I'm not saying it's if it was, and it would be right or, you know, like there's a lot of like gray lines here, you know what I mean? There's no absolutes, you know.
It was very self-serving and selfish. Either way,
absolutes for me, that's for sure. I
think there's a lot of gray areas like that we don't know about.
And there's things you do in this world that it's Pandora's box, and it's not. You're not going to shut the box. You know, every action has, well, how did it go? An equal and opposite reaction. But I feel like there are things that you can do in this world that you can't just smooth them over and make them okay by X, Y, and Z. And I think for me, this is one of them. And my guess is that even if we don't see a consequence for her, she is going to have one. I promise you that. And if there's there's any justice, oh no, I'm thinking something much more painful.
Yeah.
If there's any justice in the world, she would get what she put out in the universe, because I may bust on her, her eyebrows and say that she has the features of a South Park cartoon. I may bust on her tie-dye wardrobe, etc. But what I would never do is put pictures of her dead relatives out on the internet. So I sleep just fine at night talking shit about shitty people. So I'll take my whatever's coming my way for that. I wouldn't want to be in her shoes, because I think when you do something so foul, you're going to answer for it we're probably never going to see it. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
I don't think she thought it all the way through. I think she got something in her mind that she wanted, and the way her mind works, I don't know. And I think she did it, but then I don't think that, because she was still trying to re-upload it after it was taken down.
Well, she thinks she's right still, so she didn't really like take anybody's like criticism and like take it to heart, because she really believes like what she's doing is like,
it's self-serving.
It is self-serving.
And it 100%. Always was, make no mistake. It always was. Yeah. So there's only a few choices. She's either really like a complete idiot who has zero foresight, despite the fact that she's got almost 100,000 subs and seems to know how to move in various social media platforms. So she's either, none of the choices are good. She's either not too bright, callous, a little bit of both, and. None of it's a good look. And I just hope that, it's done deal. They're out there now, and there are
circulating the world, out there doing what?
Do you know, there was a case, and I think I heard it here on YouTube. Yeah, it was somewhere on YouTube, but it's not any of the channels that, we all usually see each other. Hey, Queen Bee. Whoever this was I was listening to said that in California there was, and it was something like this. It was along, this gore porn. And the guy said, if you Google Porsche girl, don't do it. That's all I'm saying. Don't do it. People, that was kind of like a Kobe Bryant deal. One of the paramedics or the firefighters that went to that accident.
Yeah, took pictures.
Now, not only did they go, all over the web, people, and more people than they could count, were sending
like a virus
pictures to her parents.
Oh gosh. Ridiculous.
That's sick.
Yeah.
The cruelty. It's like, I'm telling you, we are, I won't live to see it, I hope. But
Nicole LTL is absolutely right. We cannot teach empathy.
No. And this platform brings out, if you don't have it, this place brings out the absolute worst in
right
in us, because
it kind of does
not
sometimes.
us, but them. You know what I'm saying.
All of us.
And us. I jumped up here hot, and us.
Oh,
yeah, everybody hates me now.
I have said, and I stand on everything I said. I don't give a damn, and I'm probably going to say it a few more days. Listen, that idiot had to have known going into this that she was going to get blowback and very bad blowback. And if she didn't, then good God, she really is.
I don't think she realized how much blowback.
I hate myself.
I don't think she realized how much blowback she would get.
I didn't think. No, I don't think
I'm
she
kind
thought
of
it
with
through.
Ellie that I think
is
she thought
good.
if she put it behind a wall, it was more private and trying to act like that's for family. But
That's
it
what
was
she
for
said that
financial
night.
gain. It's financial gain. Why didn't you do it?
Yeah, right.
That night she said, okay, if I put it behind a wall, she goes, okay, I put it behind a wall to keep it private. But if I kept it public, people would say it's too public. I put it behind a wall. They say I'm charging, like she was like,
So she
like,
knew
I can't win.
before she did it, it was wrong.
Of course she did.
Yeah,
That's
or
what
that
she just said there. If I did it this way, it's wrong. If I do it this way, it's wrong. So she knew
she
whatever
didn't.
she did,
thought
it was wrong.
Well, I think she thought the way that she was doing it behind Patreon was okay, but I think
was the best wrong.
But like, what if I mean, there's a good chance that we couldn't, if we didn't find out about it. Like, I mean, this is stupid, I guess, but it never, we never would have been aware of it. And that's why why I said what I said about Gannon's parents, if she should call them, I don't, or contact
well,
them
Ellie,
to
that
to
sounds
ask
like what
her.
she said about the parents, honey, that I didn't agree with. She said they would know nothing about it if people weren't telling them about it.
Well, that's the thing.
Well,
I'm saying they
someone's
wouldn't.
always going to talk. Someone's always going to speak. You can't tell me if I saw something like that behind a paywall that I wouldn't share it with you and Joneson.
Yeah. But there was
not
this
like that. I wouldn't.
trial, though,
But I mean,
because
something of
of the
interest
trial
to others.
If these weren't available to anyone else, I mean, if there was just a huge trial though that had some of these images shared, I would think it was much more but I see both sides. I don't know. I don't think that she was really doing it truthfully for money, because there's not a lot of money involved if you do the math. And I don't think she had any malicious intent. I think she was doing it for her own weird, morbid curiosity, obsessive, true crime mind.
Well, then why
yes, and she let that mind take over. Because
that's that is
Nicole
Zav,
said,
though.
you can't
She
teach
is
empathy.
that person. You can't. I guess I'm very detached with certain things. I don't know. I could detach. I could detach easy. I've always kind of been like that.
What if it was somebody you loved?
I thought about this really long and hard too. I thought, okay, if it was say my nephew who I love, or one of my friends who I just love, their child so much. Love is love, right? And if it happens,
doesn't have to be a child. Just say somebody you're.
Yeah, anybody. No, I couldn't see my dad in his coffin. If I couldn't look at that. I didn't want that picture in my head. But I don't know. This is what I was thinking. Okay, if I was in the position of being Gannon's birth mother, right, and just lived through this entire trial, okay, and then say I found out that there was people on YouTube that were just so in general, that people were streaming the case, and people were following my case because they wanted justice for Gannon, right? And then I found out that maybe people were looking at some of the court, that they ordered the court documents, whatever. Somebody told me this, right? That they ordered the court documents because they wanted to look more in depth at everything, because they wanted to know what really happened and fill in some gaps. For me, I would think of that as a place of love. Truthfully, it could be from a place of love, because they want to know so much about it. And it's not always morbid curiosity. Sometimes it is a place of knowing and wanting to know the truth from whatever eyes in their minds that they need that. That's all. That's my
She didn't
position
even follow this case publicly, did she?
She didn't.
She didn't even report on this case. Did she
didn't
even share a missing flyer?
She didn't.
When he was
No,
missing? But now you're going to show this?
No, I'm saying absolute. I'm saying I'm putting myself in there. I'm just saying
Gore porn.
It can't. It's not always that, though. If you have to look at it from a medical standpoint. I'm going to ask this somebody comes into my business. I'm going to ask him. He's a retired doctor, and I almost did the other day to just kind of get his view about it. Do you know what I mean?
My coroner is appalled. Appalled.
Oh, really? Oh, I'll let you know when I talk to him, because I almost did the other day, but.
And he said no other coroner, nobody else I know would do this ever.
Yeah, she's not a medical professional. She's not a scientist. She's not anything. In fact, a
But
lot of her insight is really
She's a
off the wall.
we can
grifter.
have interest in things that we're not professionals in, though, guys. You know what I mean? I don't know. What's wrong with
Well,
having interest in those things? What if she was
nothing.
like 22
Nothing.
years old and became like a medical examiner after all of this?
Listen,
But
she
this
You know?
isn't being interested
listen,
in like
I
acrylic
don't
pores.
care. She can sit in her house every day and night of her life, making taxidermy sculpture. I don't care what, she can have interest in anything she wants in the world. I have no issue with that.
It shouldn't be our issue, right?
I mean, she has the right to put someone's dead child
Exactly.
on photos for her personal enrichment, and that's exactly what it was. Period. End of story. If it was just to satisfy her morbid curiosity, it would have stayed on her desktop. And I am going to agree with something I saw Mike Stevens. Mike, you might get a gold star at the end of class today. You've been a good boy, I see. But Mike said something to the effect of, oh, here it is. I would be afraid it was illegal to possess photo of a child nude. Isn't that illegal? Regardless, he wasn't alive. I absolutely, I don't care how interested I was in any of this. I would be scared shitless to have anything like that.
To have court documents in your, I don't think so. If it's in that form of court documents and like autopsy photos, like you can't like, I'm sorry. I don't know. You can't translate that. Like you can translate anything. Then you have to like. I don't know. I guess I'm able to like separate the two. That's maybe just the only difference. I'm able to like detach from it because I didn't know Gannon. You know,
but you
at all. You know, I didn't, and I
understand.
I understand how everybody like loves Gannon and like has this like emotional connection with this case. Because
I don't love
Gannon. It was all. Well, some people do.
I don't even know him, but I'm
Can I
just,
what I said. I
just
don't know him either.
Lisa, can I speak?
Oh, yes. Hi.
Hi, it's T.
How are you?
Not good.
All right.
I don't know what some of these people's backgrounds are who are defending this or going to view these photos out of some morbid curiosity or to see what she's doing. That's somebody's child. Now, I don't have to love Gannon the way I love my son, but I used to be a child advocate for the courts. I had to sit there and testify for abused children and see what they went through. So to have this woman sit up on your panel and defend this action is sick. I don't care. If you have your own standards that you can detach from somebody's deceased child, you might want to check it, okay? Because this is a child. It doesn't have to be a child you love. It doesn't have to be a child that you know. It's a child. And I know that Cassie P has lost a child. I know other people who have lost a child. How would you feel if another creator said, yeah, I went and viewed pictures of your dead child because I just wanted to see what she was doing? I don't care who viewed them. It's wrong. It's a child. And you should not be going to view his photos out of any curiosity. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
Oh, I absolutely would. I don't want to see any of that. And I have to say, Ellie and I are not dancing on this. Definitely not. I don't understand Ellie's position, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to let her say her position, but I definitely, I think it is, I can't even find enough terrible words to describe Zav-Girl. I think she is a wretched, depraved piece of shit. Take it away. I had to stand up because I think I'm getting a bed sore from my seat. Hello.
Hey, give me 1 second.
Oh, okay. Ellie, do you keep eating yourself? What's happening?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was like gonna just stay up, and then I saw Queen jump up too. I'm sorry. I mean, I hope you guys don't think I'm like a morally bankrupt person. I really am not. I really think about these things, and I've been like sitting with it, and I see both sides. I mean, I think people are thinking that I don't see their side, that I'm insensitive, that I think that all children's, autopsy photos should be displayed all over the internet. I think this is kind of new territory that we're in with this true crime, these court documents, like the technology, like throw it all together. We've gotten this. Do you know what I mean? Like it used to not be like this. And I think this is like new territory.
Yeah,
like who is Zav? Is she a journalist?
Not
Is
ever
she?
been. No.
Yeah, exactly.
She's
She's
with
not.
a YouTube channel, just like all the rest of us.
Well, that's
what
exactly
she is.
the thing, like we're all just here, like kind of just talking our opinions. Nothing is absolute. I don't know why people like hate me for having a different opinion.
I don't
They
think
do. People do. Oh my God. I
Well,
do.
here's what I'll say, and I don't hate you, obviously, but here's what I'm gonna say as a way to try what I think is the only way to like explain why there are such strong feelings about it. And I really think it is that if you aren't a mother and you haven't had a child, I think it is.
Look at Voices though. Voices doesn't have kids, and she feels more strongly than a lot of people.
Well, but
I don't think it's kid. I don't think it's that. I really don't think it's that. I really, really. I thought about that so much. I don't think that's what. Personally,
Well,
I don't.
no,
I know what.
I know
I'm a
you
daughter.
but
my mom is a mom. Like we're so close. I get that. I get it. And I asked her this. I ran it by her and my sister. I don't. Yeah.
I don't think it matters if you have kids or not, but I do want to say this. Yes, some photos he was nude, some photos he wasn't. Now you have to take into consideration he was decomposing, and trigger warning, he had been decomposing in a suitcase for 3 months, if not a little longer, give or take. We don't know. You know what I mean? So, of course, when looking at an 11-year-old child, of course, they already don't have a lot there anyways. So when I said, I know you said you can't really see much. You can't see anything there. That's not the point. The point is some of them are unblurred and some of them are not. And it's not Zav that did it. It's how the FOIA request came. It's not anything to do with what Zav did or didn't do. They came that way. I don't think she altered the photos in any way, shape, or form. I think she just put them in there how they were. When looking at one of the photos, it actually just looks like his regular skin. That's when he's laying on the table, and they have his face. Blurred, but they don't have his private area blurred. One of the photos they do, when it's directly right on him, they do have his private area blurred out.
For me, it makes no difference either way. It's like it's all disgusting.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, I'm not lying to you guys. That is what it is. That's just how it is. I mean, some of them, some are blurred and some are not, and it's not like you can just see this big package sitting there. I think people are misconstruing like what you're gonna see. You're not gonna see anything anyways. It's just like skin. But what I'm saying is, you're looking at a decomposed 11-year-old child.
Yeah, no, I have no interest in seeing.
You have to take into consideration that, like it's just it's
sick.
Yeah, it's fucking awful.
It's nothing but voyeuristic. It's gore porn, and
some people do like that. I will say that some people do like to know intricate details about everything, and that's fine. I understand some people like to get into that, and that's okay. Whatever, that's their thing. To each their own. That's where I'm at with that. That's to each their own. Anybody. But what I do have an issue with is the commentating that she was you know what I'm saying? But that's just how Zav-Girl is. Now, if you know Zav-Girl, you know how she does. You know how she talks. That's just the way she does. She did the same thing with the Rodney case. She did the same thing with other cases. That's just who Zav-Girl is.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's okay that Voices sat up here and said, well, she's a drug addict, so she's not naive. I don't think that has anything to do with being naive or not. Yeah, she was a drug addict. Yes, she did have issues in her life, just like we all have had issues in our lives. I mean,
fuck, I'm not
And
innocent.
listen, I didn't say that. And that was when I said the other day,
yeah,
I'm not going to, I'm not putting her business out on Front Street, even though I heard it come out of her mouth. And I was not going to do that. So I
know you didn't.
Yeah,
I just feel like when voices have said that, and I also don't think that it's fair that people are attacking Ellie for having a difference in opinion. I don't think, and I mean, I know she feels like she's being attacked. I don't necessarily think she's being attacked, but I think people are kind of like having a hard time keeping an open mind that some people do, want to see details like that, and some people don't. But I do want to say, and I said it again, and I said it on my post, and I said it in my live stream. I do not feel that Zav is a predator or a pet in any way. I don't think that's fair or right to say that about her. I know that it was said on my panel, but I tried to correct it immediately, and to let people know that's not how I felt in any way, shape, or form.
And I also do not think that at all. And I would never say that. I think she's amoral, disgusting, all the shit I've already said 100 times. But here's the thing. I don't care. Like, hey, people, what is that expression? My mom's got this funny expression for shit like this. I can't remember what it is, but I don't care what somebody's weird like kink is or like have at it. But when it comes to just commandeering someone else's child's last photos before they quite literally ashes to ashes, dust to dust, and advertising it, making money off of it, whether it's $1 or $1 million. It's disgusting. It's vile, and there should be no place for any of that here. Look, if she's some weirdo who wants to look at other people's dead children, well, great. Like, do you sit in your house every night and do what makes you happy? But it's just gross. This is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen on here. And if somebody said, here, make a choice, we can bounce her, but bring Molly Golightly back, I'm voting for Molly Golightly to come back all day long, because I don't know what Molly, I mean, she did terrible shit too, but pales in comparison to this. What are you doing? Hi. So, but yeah, and I said when we started this that I don't think she's a P, and there would be no tolerating anyone talking about any such thing in the chat. So, what are you guys doing? My dog's like, what's going on, Mom? Hello.
Well, I'm glad that, I'm glad you allowed me to clear that up here. But I was like midway through, and I heard Ellie say that her and Johnson had looked and that they didn't see anything. But I don't want people to think that I'm lying, because, like I said,
No, I said that I had heard you say that you saw.
Yeah, and like I said, you can tell. I mean, if you want me to tell you exactly what pictures, I can go back through and tell you exactly what pictures are not blurred and exactly which ones are.
I have no intention of looking at any of them.
No, I went over them again with Joneson last night because she didn't see all the parts, and I said, well, I know she was going pretty hard in the chat, and I'm like, well, I just want you to know, you know what I'm saying? What I want you to be able to see, and you know what I mean? Maybe you didn't get a chance to see what we were seeing, and I don't want you to think that I'm calling you a liar, and I don't want you to feel like you're calling me a liar, because that's not really.
No, I get
Sure.
it.
I said maybe there's things that you didn't get to see, or maybe there's things I didn't get to see, because it was hard for me. I mean, it was very hard for me. And like I said, I only looked because I knew I was going to go off on Zav-Girl, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't going off over pillows and blankets. That I was really going to, that she actually did show his, Because what you get upset about, I may not. You know, what upsets you and hurts your feelings or whatever, it may not hurt my feelings. I may not be offended or may not be upset by that.
Yeah.
I said, well, she did what she did with Kylie Rodney's case was awful.
Yeah, with like the Diva Cup and all that. How she,
yeah.
Yeah.
And just going
Clearly
after the
she didn't learn
kids.
anything. She didn't learn
Yeah.
anything. And I mean, she doesn't care, okay? She doesn't give a shit how these families feel. Period. End of story. She's going to do what she's going to do. I mean, you couldn't give a shit and do all these things. You just couldn't. Everybody makes missteps and whatnot, but, you know.
Do you really think this like re-victimizes the family if they never know about it? And like, even if they do, they just went through this trial, you know, and I don't know. I just feel like there's not much more that they could go through.
Disrespect of the highest order.
I have a message from, let me see. I have a message from somebody who actually is friends with Landon, and she's going to come on panel today.
Okay.
Message from her. Now, see, I didn't get confirmation, so I'm going to go back and reword the live because I don't want people to expect that. You know what I mean? So I deleted it and I'll redo it. But I just, there's a lot of people that reached out to her, people that you wouldn't
know.
Even.
Do you think they know?
Crime Line,
they do.
she reached out to Al yesterday. Then there's some people who shouldn't even be calling this out. Bitch, I know you ain't talking about me because them's fine words how I
What?
I know you ain't talking about me, girl. So I don't know.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying Crime Lines and Lies got a hold of Al, the dad.
Oh, she's taking a break from Summer? Because it's only been 2 years of, every fucking day. My God.
Yeah.
All these people.
Breaker Brooks reached out to Al. So I'm sure he's not. She said in her members only post that she made that he was going to be reaching out to the DA.
Good.
But see, the DA is not going to be able to really do anything because they gave them the fucking police signed off and gave it to her.
Yeah, that's the first epic fail. But
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, and I don't think FOIA requests should be taken away. I mean, people, that's how things get, the police get caught and things get, you know what I'm saying? Like, I believe fully and wholeheartedly that those should definitely stay public. I'm not saying that they shouldn't. What I'm saying though is if it's a minor child, there should be something within the courts after the trial where they could be sealed off or what I'm saying, just even if it's just like the nude photos or photos of the body or the autopsy or specifics, you know what I'm saying? Just to even like keep this from happening to another child or another case if something like this happens in another case, or
I don't think, truthfully, I don't see where there could be any kind of like not
no, it has to rely on a judge.
They might have they might have a civil case for intentional infliction of emotional distress. I don't know, but I'm sure that's one of those things. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't presume to speak for them, but it just never should have happened. It never should have happened. The court was the first fail. Absolutely. I mean, they're the first fail, but just because she got it, she did not need to disseminate it like she did.
Exactly.
It's sick. So, well, I will look forward to that. I'm very interested to hear their perspective. And I tell you what, if they follow the absolute dignity that those people had all through that trial and at the end, I'm sure they're going to be a lot kinder in their words than I have been or will be, because they just seem like really good people. And if I thought that wretched bitch could be shamed into doing the right thing, I'd sit up here all day and night. But I don't think that's a possibility.
No.
But we can hope. So, well,
thank you for having me up. I'm gonna jump off.
Thank you.
a good one, you guys. Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, I'll see you later. Thanks for
All right,
coming.
I'm going to jump down too, Lisa. Thanks for having me up. I
Yeah,
appreciate
you
it. Bye, Ellie.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, Ellie, I don't think it's at all that people hate. I mean, in all honesty, I'll just tell you from my perspective, and I really truly think I know not everybody will agree, but just from my perspective, I feel like it really is. You really, if you haven't had children or been a mother, I mean, you don't even have to give birth to children to be a mother, but I think it really is. It's a love completely different.
It changes you,
and
right?
it does. And I mean, they, especially if you've had them from birth.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't even want to like say that. I don't want to, because there's plenty of people that are mothers that didn't necessarily carry.
Oh yeah.
Those children. But
I mean,
it really is. It's something that it is. It's a love that is
I
entirely
know
different
from my mom.
than
Me and my mom. I get it. Like being a daughter, I understand it even so much. Like my mom just like loves me so much. You know what I mean? Like it's just
did your
like
mom?
too much. I love her too much. You know, I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
I get how it is.
No, I think it does. It really, I think it just makes the mothers go, oh my God, how can you say that? And if I didn't know you at all or listen to you so much, I'd understand. I'd be saying the same thing. I don't for 1 minute think that it comes from a place of callousness. I think you are just incredibly like impartial.
No, I'm not though. I mean, not about some things. Why, yeah. Maybe
hearing stories or whatever, like,
yeah.
You really do want to hear all sides. Not like I may not be the best at that, but I think it is. I think it's just really because it is such a different kind of love. The mothers just sit back and say, "My God, how can you defend her?" And I know you're not. I don't think you're defending her. I think
I'm not defending her at all. I hope people don't think I am. I understand where she is coming from. That's all, and I understand where everybody else is coming from. And it does have to do with that, like mama love. Like it is so strong. I know, it's like I get it. I totally understand, and I maybe I haven't felt it, but I don't know in my mind how it is.
You have it. You can have it for other. Like when I said I don't love Gannon, I didn't mean for that to come out.
No, I know what you meant exactly. You don't know him.
Say that too much. People, oh, I love you. It's like you don't even know this person. You don't
yeah,
exactly. You feel a connection to their story or whatever it is. But mothers can just, you kind of feel, you just know how you would feel if it was your child. And I'm telling you, I would cut a bitch. That's that.
Hippiporium. I don't think anybody's calling you crazy. I haven't called anybody crazy, and I hope I didn't. Because she's the mother of a child that has passed away, and it's hard to hear us being shooed away because we are crazy. I don't think that at all. I don't think that has anything to do with anybody being crazy. I don't know. I understand it. I understand.
You know where I think that is maybe coming from? I think yesterday. I think you made it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was you. You made a comment and said something about, well, do you think that if you are this upset by this kind of,
it's the true crime comment. Yeah.
This isn't I think that's
okay. Yeah. And I wasn't meaning like stay away, and I'm not even saying log off right now, or you know what I'm saying? Like I was just bringing up.
I know you didn't mean it like that, but
yeah,
I think it was already like a bonfire, and then that gas got thrown, and
I just took like some fuel.
Yeah. So
I actually dropped my lighter in there on accident and it blew up.
I
I
know.
get it.
I
Yeah,
know.
I know.
I
I
know
didn't
you
mean
know.
I didn't mean to, but it is like an
I know.
interesting. I was just trying to put that question out there because that is, I think, the root of some of this stuff. Like, because there are like this intermingling of like different communities, like drama with true crime, with like, I feel like there's a
Yeah.
grief community too. I don't know, and there. I don't know. Grief is, we all experience grief. And so sometimes it's like, okay, is the loss of a child more or whatever important than somebody else's grieving of like losing a husband and a tragic act, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like sometimes
I think it's different. I don't know. Thank God. I mean,
I
yes,
know it's
I know
different.
grief, but it
Paloma
is.
said there's no name for it.
I think
Or there is in
somebody's,
Sanskrit.
somebody's age too, that comes into it. It's
Definitely.
It's always horrible, but at least when someone's had a long, happy life, it's easier to accept that, it was just their time. But when it's a child, it's like, there's just so much that goes into it. I really did. I was so glad I listened to Paloma last night. The few times I've ever heard her, I've always liked her. But she has a, she has a nice, her speaking voice is nice. She's able to really make you feel without, without the high dramatics and whatnot. So
right. I really appreciate her too. She has a lot of wisdom from what she's been through, and she's very graceful with how she kind of speaks about it, and
the want to help other people, that's amazing to me.
She's like a very strong, and I think it is like, because of the, like, this is what people always say, like, and Paloma means, I think in Sanskrit it means like the unknown Greek or something, because
it's the upset of the natural order.
And that's what it is about losing a child. Like, okay, like we lose our parents, but losing a child, it's not natural, right? And so, but I don't think that unnatural grief makes it, and like somebody just in chat said, losing a child, it wasn't the same thing as losing a father. But that's about that's, I think, individual and different people, I would think, right? I don't know. I mean, I think losing a child
who would attack Paloma? I can't even imagine. I mean, I don't. That's insane to me. I don't know. I tell you what, it's part of a bigger question to me of, like, we've just lost all civility, and a lot of decency is disappearing completely from the world. I mean, you drive down the road and somebody, because who knows? I mean, some girl the other day, I don't even know what her problem was. I guess she thought I cut her off. I didn't cut her off. But even if I had,
I know. I've seen that.
I was at the light going, oh my God, is this girl gonna like get out
and like come at me?
You know what I usually do when that happens? I swear to you. Now, if I'd been in my 20s, I'd have been like, but nowadays, if that happens, I look over and I do one of those, because it's like, it is kind of hard to be hateful, angry at somebody who's.
I
mean, if I'm at fault, I always will be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, I wave my hands up, be like, yo,
just lost.
Yeah, people get so, oh my God, road rage is real. It's real.
Everybody rages everywhere about everything. It's like, my God.
Do you think we're more angry as a society? Is that what social media is doing to people? Like, kind of not helping them like express their anger to the proper place, and it's getting displaced?
It's because they can't, and they can use the anonymity of this, the relative anonymity.
Yes. Right.
Listen, Ted Kaczynski was not wrong. That's all I'm saying. He went about it the wrong way. He did horrible things. But as far as his manifesto, he was, that was his whole thing, that technology was going to be the downfall of society. And I don't think he was entirely wrong. So, It's been 3.5 hours. I've got a little
Yeah.
dog that wants to go
Oh,
out.
thanks for having me up.
Oh, I'm glad you came up, and I know, I'm sure voices.
It's okay. Whatever. I'm okay
I
with that.
know. It just was so heated.
Yeah,
And
it's
I think,
emotional. People
yeah,
with this, it's
I'm
really,
sure she will,
it's okay.
well,
Whatever.
I'm not gonna speak for her, but
I don't care.
I think that'll get worked out.
Yeah, she gets very emotional. She's never like, kind of, but she was really kind of mad at me yesterday, I think. I don't think people should be mad at each other. I'm not mad at her
Yeah,
or
no, I know.
anybody. I would
Right.
never be mad at anybody
And
for
I
having any
think
of these ideas.
honestly that also gets under people's skin, because that is an art, to be able to just stay even and calm. And people who are not prone to that, it is kind of like, yeah, like I can't do that. I wish, to a degree.
Yeah, I can detach. I don't know why I've been able to my whole life. I don't know. It's just it's who I am. I'm like, oh, I'm an Aquarius. Aquarians are like detached. I've always been, I mean, I'm not like detached. I like could cry like during Little House on the Prairie. I mean, like I cry, I mean, I don't know. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like
I mean,
everybody
you
has different.
think very, analytically.
I'm very analytical and
Yeah,
scientific.
not
I was
as much,
pre-med.
not
Yeah.
as much, emotional.
I'm emotional, but I could look at something like this for some reason and see, I don't know. I just see it. I see both sides of it kind of clearly in a way, and I would never do what she did, Zav. And I don't think she thought it through. And I think she's so irresponsible. I want everybody to know that I think that she's completely irresponsible and there shouldn't have been any money. But I think her intentions, all I'm saying, her intentions were not complete, in my opinion, of course, were not just
And in
evil.
my way, were very much.
Yeah. And I think we can learn from that, because I like, I want to see like truthfully, like I think she should come out with an apology at this point, because it's morphed into something much bigger than it was at the way beginning. And so if like Gannon's family now is like finding out about this, like this has just become like too big and too terrible, like, and now it's reached that level.
People have different thoughts on that too. Some people say, leave them alone. Don't, I personally, I mean, and listen, it wouldn't have mattered what any of us said, because people are going to do what people are going to do. But that's a double-edged sword. I mean, I felt like I would, you say you'd want to know, but I don't know. They've had the most god awful. It's just insult to injury, and
I get that. I just think after the trial, how could there be more
for her? I think there should be. I think that communities have to have some kind of standards and
boundaries. Yeah,
I really think another thing she's done that might have actually been unintentioned, but I think it will be an unfortunate consequence, is I think other dirtbags like Betty and company, she's paved the way now. She's going to have taken the initial hit. She's going to have taken most of the line of fire, and now all the rest of them are going to sit back and say, oh, well, they'll justify it. Well, it's already out there, and people were really pissed at her, but now it's kind of calming down, and blah, blah, blah. All she's done is pave the way for other unethical, immoral people to capitalize off of what she had the very bad judgment to make entertainment, because that's what her channel is. I mean, I don't find it entertaining. To me, she's as entertaining as watching the grass grow. But
it's too much for me. It's too
90,000 people feel differently. So
she makes me anxious a little, like, because she just goes so much, and like she makes my head spin a little with her.
I could not. I could not watch her. I tried, and I was like, I don't get it.
During Kylie Rodning, I did, because she was crazy about like these fire cam video, like this whole.
And all those kids. How about all those minors whose pictures she just?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah.
don't feel
And
too sorry for
saying,
her. She's not a
no, I don't.
misunderstood.
I don't feel sorry for her. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't, I mean, I just kind of understand where it started from, maybe. That's about it. But it's like morphed into something much bigger now, than I just didn't think she would expected this. I don't think she thought it through because
And she really is a dipshit if she
she's
didn't.
maybe smart
because-
on details, but not smart on big picture. And she didn't see the big picture in this, that it could have happened because like people that know Patreon know that there's moles and then knows that there's leaks and like zip drive. She should know that that thing could be very easily shared. So even her monetary plan, if that was one, wasn't very smart either, right? So big fail all around.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Big F.
So.
Well,
All
thanks
right.
for having me. I'll see you really soon.
Yeah.
I appreciate you always and
Oh, well, you have
your
a good
chat,
day.
and
And
you have
thank
good people in your chat.
Yeah.
Right.
Lucky. And Hippie, God, like, I don't know who ever called you crazy or
I didn't. I hope I
any
didn't.
form of that. I mean, that is just a sickening thing to say to, I don't know. There's
I
just
apologize
no
if I
part of
offended anyone. I'll just
ever.
say that.
Oh, I
Bye,
don't.
guys.
No, I don't. He's not talking about you. I don't know who did it, but whoever did it's just disgusting and it's vile. And what is that saying? There, but for the grace of God go I. There's just never anything crazy. Whether you're a parent or not, everybody experiences loss. Hopefully not loss of that magnitude. And on behalf of whoever that ill-mannered, morally bankrupt, unfeeling person was that said that, well, on behalf of civilized people, I apologize, because I think people have just become so desensitized that it's like when you do try and show real emotion, like, I think if you don't come from a starting place of being an empathetic person, I think it's this platform and all the social media platforms make it very easy to, leave your humanity at the door. And I truly mean it when I say, as far as I'm concerned, anything I say about anybody, I say shit about shitty people. I'm never ever. It's not like this is a sport for me, and I'm out looking for. I didn't come here expecting to do this, but this is just, it's who I am. It's who I've always been. I've always been that person who, when I see somebody being gross, if I can, I call it out. So, hello, entertainment with Demetrius. And to anyone new that came in who hasn't been here before, I'm so sorry that I was not able to stop and say hello and welcome to anyone who's new. And for everybody who is not new, but I didn't get to say hello to, I'm so sorry. It's hard, especially when there's people up speaking. I hate to just break in and say hi. So, but y'all know too, I'm old, and I don't pay attention to the chat as much as I should, because I'm damn old. And if I get, if I veer off the path too much, well, then I can't remember. I can't remember what the hell I was talking about. Trust me, it happens more than I like to admit. So, all right, I'm going to go take my little dog for a walk, and I'm very anxious to hear what is it Landon's aunt that's going to be hopefully on Queen Bee's panel. That I am very much looking forward to. So, oh, Lavina, welcome. I know that's a new name. That's a wallpaper mural that actually comes in 4 pieces. All right, everybody. I'm going to get out of here so I can get a few things done before Queen Bees. Thank you all so much for joining me. I truly appreciate it. And I really hope that I'm never going to have to come in here and talk about something this vile and morally bankrupt again. And y'all, we need to demand better of our fellow creators. And we're not all content creators, but we are all subs. And we just need to demand better. That's all. If we don't, eventually what's going to happen is the decent people are going to leave, because there's only so much grimy. I mean, this is bad. This is really bad. I would have never have believed, even, my God, up until 2 days ago, I wouldn't have believed that someone would have done this. No matter how she got the images, whatever her motivations were, I don't even care. It's gross. It's vile. And Betty, don't think you got away, because you didn't. But I am gonna be, I don't know, y'all. Here's the thing. This is just one of these things that this is so emotionally draining. It really is. And as much as I would like to come in here later on and get back to Betty and her thoughts, because, I just can't wait to hear that. I have a feeling I know what she said. I don't know if I feel like I'm at my maximum density. The good news for me is I am going to go on a lovely midweek getaway for at least, well, at the very least 1 night, possibly / probably 2. It's just going to depend on my husband's schedule, because he's got to take care of the animals. So, but I definitely will not be here tomorrow, and maybe not Wednesday. And Friday, I have a date with a real life friend that I haven't seen in too long. So she and I are getting together. So it'll either be Thursday and we'll just catch up on whatever. Because here's the good news. Betty's always going to be a dirtbag. Betty's going to be a dirtbag today. She's going to be a dirtbag in 2 days. It's all, there is that. So, and they never let us down. Entertainment with Demetrius. I'm going live at 4 p.m. Oh, okay. Well, I will check your channel out. Oh, Hippie, you can email me at crimesandfashion@gmail.com. All right, everybody. Have a fantastic day. And I will see you later on at some point.